We'll see.
You guys gave us the ability to do anything now.
Chow is smart. Chow's like, I like how the drivers ask for something, but at the end they're like, oh, but you make the judgment call on it. I'm like, so then why even have it in there? He was like, dude, I know. It's so funny. They wanted something and then they gave you the power to take it away. And I was like, I know.
Driving is more than competition, it's a way of life. I've been building cars for as long as I can remember. When it's time to perform, I go all in. With INEOS Performance Lubricants, every ounce of power and protection counts. INEOS, the original JDM motor oil.
モータースポーツで得た高度な技術をすべてのレイズホイール一本に込める魂は永遠に変わらない。ビヨンド・ザ・レボリューション。ザ・コンセプト・イズ・レーシング。
Made in Japan. Breed.
New Fast Orange Body Wash was formulated specifically with mechanics in mind from the #1 brand in heavy-duty hand cleaning. You never know what you're getting into when you're working in the shop. The new body wash takes care of everything from my dirty hands, arms, and face to simply make me feel clean all over. Tiny wax beads help get the toughest dirt out, while also taking care of the strongest automotive odors like fuel, oil, and exhaust too. It's ideal for those areas of skin that are exposed to grease and grime during the day, but gentle enough to use all over your body. Find new Fast Orange Body Wash at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Formula Drift, what we call the Throwdown, the battle in Seattle. Are you with me? 1, 2, 3!
The big bank is gnarly. You're doing 80 miles an hour the whole way around. And then finishing it off right next to that last wall, I feel like it's iconic, and the fans get to stand right there and get blasted with tire smoke.
Unleash the Kraken. Simon Olsen in tow. Look at him. Again, good execution, good proximity. What an amazing initiation! Oh, shocker, look at that! Tuerck advances to the finals. LZ of Manoa. The crowd erupts here in Seattle. Hero Manoa is out. The wind comes out of the sails of the 14-year-old. And here is Ryan Tuerck on a celebratory win run. What a run, makes some noise, Seattle. Ryan Tuerck gets the win on Nitto Tires. Welcome out to Evergreen Speedway. It is an absolutely perfect day. Ideal, little clouds in the sky, some blue sky, Evergreen State Fairgrounds. We're technically in Monroe, Washington, just north of Seattle. Had a preseason football game. We landed Thursday, but guess what? Forget that. We went to Type S Nightlights, brought to you by Larry Chen, Type S, Toyota Gazoo Racing, ST Suspensions, and now it's game day. That's right, Saturday. We are sliding here into this iconic track we have been celebrating and partying at for 20 years. We're going to find out who not only wins here, who leads the championship going in round 7 as we slide into Utah. We got the high elevation event, and then we round things out for the first time ever. We're going to LB2. What is that? Well, it's the Shoreline Showdown. So just in the shadow of where we have round 1, we're building a purpose-built track. I'm Jared Deane. We're about to send it the blue beanie, the teal toque, Jacob Gettins, host of the Formula Drift Outer Zone podcast. We are your tour guides for today's event and through the entirety of this weekend. Happy anniversary, 2 years announcing Formula Drift. Jacob, some great guests. I love the all-Irish contingency. The Shanahans and James, and then D-Mac. Dude, love D-Mac. So some great content there. Thank you for all that you do. Stop number 6. We kick things off in Long Beach. We had multiple different winners except James Deane. He is the repeat customer of this story. He is currently tied in the championship. We'll get to all that. We'll unpack it. We might repeat ourselves, but it bears repeating because what a dynamic season. Speaking of James Deane, he is your defending Formula 2 champion and first ever 4-time FD champion. Let's wind it back as he winds it up. Frederick Osbo, he loved the soup and he didn't burn himself. He absolutely ate all of it. He cooked. He cooked in Long Beach.
Yeah, absolutely incredible event there, and that just built things up all the way going into Atlanta, where we saw it was a long night, a bunch of one more times, and incredibly well-deserved across the board because these two gladiators just went head-to-head, threw everything on the line, but ultimately James Deane taking home the win there in ATL.
And coincidentally, it was an all-wet incident, right?
Yeah.
So Irish driver, Norwegian driver, it checks out. Then Orlando, Hiroya Manoa, the youngest ever to win a Formula Drift event. And when he did, he modified his driving. He adapted. You know, there was some critiquing of, was he on the brakes a little too much? You know what? Screw that. He threw it out the window. He got his first ever win. Also, notably, Jonathan Castro got his first ever podium. Then we go to the Crazy 8, E-Town. Adam LZ wins with his own team. Previously, he did win in a Ford Mustang, but this was his own campaign. And then it was, again, another Irish battle. Jack Shanahan, welcome to the Formula Drift Pro Championship. He got the podium, but eventually it was James Deane who got the win. We knew it was in Jack.
Yeah.
It just needed to come together here on American soil.
And now for Jack, yeah, I mean, that puts him up at the top ranking for Rookie of the Year. But the big story, that tie at the top, James Deane, Frederick Osbo tied up with 180 points apiece, but Adam LZ only 60 points behind, and then Manoa on his tail all the way through. So this is really close. Look at Odie Bakshi's with the added points in, coming from yesterday. Seeding strikes here hard as Odie Bakshi's only 1 point behind him. So really, really close. Matt Field, 100 points. Jonathan Castro, 7th overall, massive. Brandon Sorensen now, same thing with seeding, moving up. Those points really coming into play. And as we get into these next set of drivers, I mean, Connor Shanahan, 15th, obviously wants to move up. Ryan Tuerck, 16th, just below him.
He won here last year.
Yeah, Derek Madison, 18th, not bad. And then Tommy Lamare, Simon Olsen, a lot of drivers, you know, using some of these momentum sections from seeding, now coming up into the points. It played a massive factor yesterday, and I think it's going to play a huge role in the entire season.
Here's how it goes down today here with our top 32 drivers. Let it be known, every win today is 10 points. So you're looking at like 160 points. That's not a lot. But every win in a top 32 bracket of game day is 10 points. Every win in a seeding bracket is 3 points. So it doesn't sound like a lot. So at the end of the season, here we are only 5 rounds in, or 5 deep, and then we got 6, 7, 8. Doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously it works out because everybody's going for the same amount of points. But notable battles here. We are hearing that Connor Shanahan is out. He dropped a piston. I got him, said no, he's not going to make it. So that's going to be a bye for who is he going against here? Connor Shanahan will be going against that Derek Madison. So D-Math will get a fast pass into 16. So he'll be 10 points richer. Ken Gushi, I know yesterday he had to bow out of competition. So a few of the vehicles, if yesterday was qualifying, they wouldn't have made it. Ryan Tuerck had an engine change. Ken Gushi, there were a few that were down but not out because, again, seeding bracket, that format definitely favored them yesterday going into today, game day.
Yeah, a few drivers that maybe weren't a big fans of seating are probably a little bit more of a fan now that they know they can still make it into the show with the way the layout is. So
yeah, the seating bracket being introduced, and I like it. I think it's interesting. It gets to what Ryan Sage, president and co-founder of Formula Drift, says. It's the essence of drifting. Always adapting, and that's what we have the capabilities of. Speaking of adapting, why don't you adapt your wallet? Because play some bets, and look at $20 gets you. Adam's currently in 3rd.
Yeah.
He's been driving the pants off of that Drift HQ BMW. Did a burnout at Griot's Garage Thursday night. Found out he had a broken part at that. Was talking to a spotter. He says, you know what? We did some things. We changed some things. Found the broken part. Thankfully, we did that smoky burnout because we found out what the problem was. So very interesting. But place your bets. There's the QR code. So, for instance, pull up mine. I'm going to pull up the camera. Let's do this. I'm going to scan it. I'm going to go to the nextbets.com website. And look at that, just like that, I can place your bets. Where can you play Formula Drift for cash?
Oh, look at the whole map.
Whole map, frequently asked questions. So it's really easy. The ultimate betting guide, how do you do it? So just go to the website, figure it out. It's that easy. Scan that QR code, place your bets, it's game day. For instance, James Deane, obviously he's currently tied, but $20 pays you $74.80. I mean, that's
interesting, yeah. I don't know who's making these odds, man, but if you're a big fan of the sport, you can look at a few of these and go, I think I can make some choices.
Yeah. So I just again, I'm not a big gambling man because normally, like, I love baseball, just don't follow it close enough. Go Padres. Sorry if it's polarizing, but that's just where it's at. I know my boy Lee DuPont. Lee over there in the tower, he's filming. He's behind the camera, not in front of it, but he's a big Padres guy. He'll be filming and watching Padres games, full disclosure. But he's focused. He's eyeing the prize, doesn't miss a shot. I'm sure we'll get some shots of the big old bird in the nest up top there, and we'll see what he puts down there. Maybe we can nickname him this event.
Okay.
Manji, Faint, or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out what the bird's name is. But thank you so much for joining us here. Again, I'm Jared Deenda. Joining me is Jacob Gettens, and we'll introduce the other member of our broadcast team. She's down on the ground, down in the pits, getting all the information. Not joining us this weekend is Lorette Nickel. Normally she joins us, but she's busy at another event. So we tapped Cerise Taylor, a great friend of ours, and she's going to be talking to drivers, pits, reporting on what's going on. So as I'm speaking about her, Cerise Taylor, down to you. What's up?
Good morning, everybody. We are here at Round 6 Seattle. As you know, I have Mr. Freddie Oswald right behind me. He's finishing up with an interview. I wonder if I can grab a moment with him. Now, as you guys know, he is a FD champion 3 times over. Now, if he wins this round, as you guys are aware, he's going to be tied with James Deane. Let's see. I don't know. Can I sneak in here? All right, cool. I'm interviewing Freddie Oswald right here. I'm interrupting. Excuse me, sir. Now, you are here in Round 6 Seattle. We have Freddie Oswald back in business, baby. I want you to talk to people about this round and what this means for you as you approach the championship.
Yeah, I love this track. We've had a lot of fun here for years. We've won here in the past. We've been on the podium here in the past, but we've also struggled here for a couple years. And I think we now have a good grip and understanding of what went wrong in the last couple years. We've been really trying to hone in on that through practice. I love the track. It's probably the craziest bank that we have, especially with Irwindale being gone. It's so long, you're on throttle for so long, and with the changes they made, you're just sinking your foot in and letting it stay. So that it's really fun to let the car loose like that, and then you got to rein it in and really be very precise for the last couple corners. So it's a big challenge for all of us. We're feeling good so far, but we do know we have some stiff competition today.
Now, this track is pretty dynamic. You have the big bank in the front, and then you drop down from like 88 miles an hour on the initiation. You're dropping down to like 30 miles an hour on the infield. How are you setting up the car? Are you strategizing for more of the bank or more of the infield?
We're trying to do both, and what's cool here is that the bank, there's a lot of grip on the bank, and we can't run maximum mechanical grip because of that banking. But in turn 2, you can. So we're using a bunch of NASCAR tricks. We're trying to make the car follow that dynamic track and make it easy to drive while still having the grip we need to hang with these guys. And so far, I think we're on the right track. But ask me again tonight, and we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, well, I hope to speak to you a lot today. We're rooting for you, absolutely. We're happy to have you here in Seattle. What is one thing that you're particularly looking forward to today?
It's coming down from the bank, and hopefully if we get it right like we have in practice, being right there with them in the pocket and getting that Irish dive into the second corner. When you get that right, it's the bet.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here, guys. We are just getting started. Be sure to tune in for the entire day. Catch all the action. Freddie, we'll see you later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Some great insight as we run it back with James Deane and Kenshiro Gushi. James, great placement of the vehicle, high on the bank. Gushi, again, he had to get his car tight and right as, again, looking at it again, that overhead view. James, perfect car placement. A lot of eyeballs on him. Jacob, as we saw that Cerise's great interview with Frederick, but what stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, James just hitting the ground running right off the bat, absolutely crushing out this entire run. Ken Gushi able to get into the pocket to the best of his ability throughout this, but the speed that comes off those RTR vehicles is absolutely nuts. Ken chopping a bit of line on outside zone 3 in order to get back into it. Then through our inside clip, Ken does a great job of timing everything out. And really, for James Deane, he is just laying down what we absolutely expect from a driver with an 86% battle win rate. This is how things are going to go with him. And, I mean, as we swap things around for Ken, he's got to lay down an absolutely monster lead run and hope that something strange happens in the chase for James Deane.
And you know, James does have a kryptonite. As great as we say he is, he's not perfect all the time. He is definitely a weapon. That dude is driving probably more than anybody. I mean, a lot of these drivers, and you've seen it, Drift Masters, FD, and look at that, just dropping in formation, a little waggle there, but then boom, finds a sweet spot. Ken Gushi, he's putting down the heat of a run right now. He did exactly what you anticipated, Jacob. He put down a great lead run, going to that power alley. I like to call it the Power Boulevard because we have widened it 2 lanes, went from 2 to 4. Both on the outside zone 2 and 3, past that inside clip, transitioning down to outside zone 4, the unforgiving wall, fighting back. Gushi did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
The truth serum will set you free, my friend, because we're talking about that overhead camera. We have a couple drones here. Aaron piling the truth serum. That's that locked and loaded overhead that's really going to highlight some great mistakes or some great makes.
Yeah, for Ken Gushi, I mean, he's got almost 300 battles under his belt. He knows what he needs to do in these situations, and he lays down an amazing lead run there and a big left foot brake to try and get the car pushed out the second outside zone. But to shake James Deane is incredibly difficult. But that lead run from Ken Gushi, super solid to kick things off here. And yeah, it's not going to be an easy decision there for the judges, especially when we're comparing those 2 lead runs.
And you can see the placement of the vehicle. James isn't as deep, but I think what's interesting here is it's setting precedence of what's expected and what the drivers are capable of.
Yeah.
I know the drivers meeting this morning, drivers are talking about, okay, we've widened outside zone 1 going into 2. The judges modified a little bit and put in a, you know, we call it the momentum map, but I'm just going to say a decel area going off of outside zone 1 into 2. But I think it's discretionary because, you know, going into outside zone 2, they're going to slow down naturally because you're at angle, and ideally you throw more angle at it, slowing down the car. But to go from 2 to 3 is going to be really hard because, like I said, the power alley has become the power boulevard or freeway. So as we take a look, you can see James leading on the left and Ken Gushi leading on the right.
Yeah, so obviously we know both drivers had a great lead run, but let's start taking a look at the chase here. Who's got the better both, you know, lead and angle and proximity? It's a mix of all 3 of those when we talk about the chase because both these leads pretty solid. It may end up coming down to James Deane's ability to fill outside zone 3 while he's in the chase, still keeping that line, keeping the proximity and mirroring the angle to the best of his ability. And there's been a lot of discussion about the lead line here, but not a lot of discussion about the chase. And for these drivers, everyone's got their leads dialed. It's going to be the chase that wins you this event. In my mind, that's how it's going to go.
I said that yesterday, and it absolutely rings true. James Deane gets the win, and I would just say that little X factor on the chase position. I think there is room for improvement as far as placement of that chase vehicle, like you said, Jacob. Slide that car back a little bit more, massage it in, but good, fast, and cheap. You can only have 2.
Yeah.
So proximity, deepness, speed. You could really only have 2, you know, because you saw James had that proximity, but to slide that car back, I think he'll take him to Gapplebee's. You know, he'll separate himself, the lead car versus the chase car. So look at 2 varying differences here.
Right.
Andy Hateley, obviously hairy, physically just a fun guy. Brandon Sorensen, clean cut, very bespoke, looks of the Air Force quality. 2 weapons of drivers. Here we go. 2 different schools of thought. An OG, a veteran, Andy Hateley, that Evo AutoWorks BMW. Brandon Sorensen, United States Air Force BMW. Hateley and Sorensen, a little waver there, some hiccups here and there. Out to outside zone 2 into outside zone 3. Sorensen checks up a little bit, but want to take a look at that overhead, take another glance at that past an inside clip. Hateley places the car properly. Brandon falls back a little bit. He finds himself a little closer there, but Hateley might have impeded a little bit. I know that back bumper got shed on the outside zone 1. That definitely could have gotten Brandon's way. And again, I think it was due to contact. I don't think it just like popped off.
No, it's definitely not an ejecto bumper. Andy right up here looks like he's struggling just a little bit to really get the tires lit off. It took, maybe it's just the angle, maybe the shadows playing games with us, but it took a bit. Brandon does a good job of holding back that BMW because it is one of the fastest cars here. They've got it so strung out and so dialed. I think a lot of it is him trying to fight to hold that back because Andy does have a pretty solid lead run, but maybe not as quick as what you would expect out of Brandon. Now they swap this around. The question will become, can Andy hang with the speed that I think Sorensen's about to throw down? Yeah, quick look back at yesterday. Brandon did win our seating, picked up a bunch of points, picked up a lot of experience in doing so, and that is the massive benefit of running through that seating is the track time, the experience, and the points for any of these drivers, because we always focus on that finals. We always focus on who's going to win the big championship, but for some drivers, they want to be in the top 5. That's their big goal for the year. They want to be Rookie of the Year. Brandon Sorensen, though, absolute clinic all the way through, and to beat out UNOH boxes, that alone is a massive, massive thing to be able to do.
Yeah, there it is. You can see it was a Brandon, Odie, Simon in the seating brackets, and that's, seating bracket. You find yourself in the seating bracket if you're not top 16 of the previous round.
Yeah.
So just for clarification there, seating brackets again, top 16 from our previous round. St. Louis most recently. If you're in the 16, you're locked and loaded going into the next round. So that's why Brandon, Odie, and obviously Simon found themselves there. And Hateley locked and loaded. Here we go. Speaking of locked and loaded, here goes Brandon Sorensen. A great initiation, high on the bank. He needs to throw some more angle at it. Look at that thing wavering. He is flirting with that wall, and that wall is unforgiving. Hateley very low on the bank, and you talk about the speed of Brandon's car, and it's very evident right now as Andy Hateley gets gapped right now, going past that inside clip. Brandon maneuvers, and Hateley rotates, spins, and that's just going to be, unfortunately, the Drift Wizard's nail in the coffin for him. No sorcery could get him out of that weapon as the BMW of Brandon Sorensen comes out very dominant, breaks his wrist in that arm wrestling competition.
Yeah, Brandon very, very aggressive here, really getting the car into the wall, gets back on throttle, gets the wall again. So we've got 3 different hits on that first outside zone. Andy Hateley, we'll have to see on another replay, how does that affect him? And then Brandon through this inside zone, back again, getting on the throttle, maybe a touch late. Inside clip looks good. And then does have a bit of a stall up there to the last zone, where it's tough because Brandon's run was very aggressive and maybe not smooth. And for Andy, he just doesn't really get into the fight through a lot of it. So is he in a position, being that far back, where what Brandon was doing in the lead was actually affecting him?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is a massive topic of discussion right now, is that cause and effect when it comes to the lead and chase, and what happens in the lead, and how does that affect the chase car, and how far back does a chase car need to be before it is no longer affected?
Absolutely situational.
So much.
So in that instance, I would say that Brandon, yes, he was lacking the angle. He was tight on the wall, but straightened out, had some wavering. Andy was down there. I think it was kind of over before it began. I love Andy's driving, love how aggressive he is. Obviously just a big personality, love what he's doing, but unfortunately I think at launch he initiated, was low on the bank. Brandon was off to the races, and you can see just how modular that vehicle is. Look at the bumper, the fiber, the carbon fiber. They'll swap that thing out, look like a brand new car.
Yeah.
For I'm just gonna call it for 16, because I believe Brandon got this. But still some review over here. Look at that, they are reviewing. So maybe I've been wrong, and I'm just saying. So we will see.
Yeah, there's a few things that they're discussing. There's a few things in the rule book that they're probably looking at with
trunks
this.
In the way?
Well, I mean,
hood, hatch, door. I mean, the rule is hood, hatch, door, anything latched. If it opens it up and it impedes, is that what you're implying?
Well, yeah, potentially, but there is a precautionary measure in that, because it was due to contact. So that's the other part. If the trunk were to just fly open out of nowhere, that's one thing. So let's take a look here, because as aggressive as Brandon,
at the right screen or left?
Let's go with the right here. Brandon really, he's banging off the wall, and Andy doesn't have that opportunity to really get in there from that. Now, he does fall way back for the rest of this run. That would be possibly the argument, if I had the cone hat on and I was arguing for Andy's camp, that's the argument I'd be making.
Here's the talking hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not the talking stick, but here's the cone hat.
Maybe that's what we have to do for all of our drivers' meetings. We get a talking hat that gets passed around. That'd go real well.
If you get to pass around your stinky beanie.
No. We'll find something.
Don't wish that upon anybody.
No. It loses its magic that way. So.
Oh, you have harnessed the magic of Canada. All right, slide him left for Andy Hateley, or right for Brandon Sorensen. And it looks like there it is, Brandon Sorensen. And, again, no fault to Andy Hateley, just aggressive. Sorensen, I think, like you said, but I respect the judges taking the time to give it the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
And really dive and delve into, was Hateley impeded his performance and line and all that by Brandon? I don't think so. So I think that right decision was made. So
yeah, and
great
judges agree.
Yep. All right, here we go. Moving on to our next battle. Jeff Jones, Nick Noback. Jones, fierce competitor. Nick Noback, I know he just lost some puck recently. He posted that. He's had a tough 365 last year. So I'm going to send a shout out to Nick Noback and his love. So here we go. Jeff Jones in that Evil Auto Works Nissan Z. High on the bank. Noback. Looks like he's got a big angle from him. He was getting a little squirrely yesterday past that outside zone 2 into 3. Jones is putting the car in the right place, but this is what I was talking about. Nick, just him and this track just aren't completely jiving. It's just not coming together for him. In practice yesterday, in seeding, he got it done, but just not coming together for him.
Yeah, just not able to find the flow and where he needs to be. Jeff a little bit lower on the bank, not too bad, but gets that smoke going immediately. Look at the speed coming out of Jeff Jones. And for Nick Noback, another incredibly fast car on this track. He's not able to keep it dialed. Jeff keeps a ton of speed coming off that. Now, he does slow down a little bit before that transition. The judges really want you to slow down after transition. Noback does a great job of adapting to that section. So for me, I mean, Noback on the first outside bank, that's where he was struggling. The rest of this track does make some concessions, cuts some line and transitions pretty early, but it does mean that he's able to pick up that inside clip in that final outside zone. So it becomes one of those situations where if you're feeling like you're behind, where do you cut? Where do you maybe drop a zone to make sure that you gain some proximity a little bit further back?
Also, from yesterday to today, the finish line has been truncated due to basically when they cross the finish line, you can go left and go to basically the driver's meeting tent. There's a wall there. Not forgiving, again. So they wanted to leak out right. So that's why they truncated that finish line. Here we go. So Nick Noback now looks like he's found that special sauce. That Noback Kenda Tires BMW. Look at Jeff Jones hopping. Look how soft that suspension is. That thing was just absolutely a pillow on cloud. And in that third outside zone, Noback looks like, I spoke too soon. Looks like he is working it out. He just needed that clean air versus that chase position. Speaking of chase, Jeff Jones banging doors into that last outside zone and crossing the finish line. Are you not entertained?
That was definitely spicy.
That was good, dude. That was a little habanero.
Yeah.
Not full on,
Yeah, we're not
Scovilles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing hot ones.
Just enough to be a little uncomfortable. But yeah, Nick Noback gets up on the wall. Does a really good job here. Look at Jeff Jones really trying to hunt down Nick Noback all the way through the first outside zone. Then Noback makes that big correction to add angle so he doesn't shoot off outside zone 2. And then floats things out to 3, gets a little bit of a wall tap in there. Jeff Jones does a great job of adapting to it through this transition. What an amazing job from Jeff Jones to time that out. Really gets to the inside. Expert level transition. That's so difficult to get right. And gotta have a lot of trust in that lead driver too to be able to pull something like that off. So shouts out to both those guys for absolutely laying down throughout this run.
I think what Jeff did there was, especially there at the end, showed he had the car and showed he could drive. Look at this. We're bumping. Jeff bumps Noback. Justin Smash with the drone bumps Jeff. This is totes adorbs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, the love is real right now.
Yeah.
Group hug. Trust fall. He goes almost in the
fall.
back of the Nissan Z of Jeff Jones. But I think Jeff bashing the door was showing that he had the prowess. He could get that proximity. Showed up a little bit late, but overall, I'll tell you what, Nick Noback, I think, surprised even himself.
Yeah, and now for the judges, let's start really dissecting what's going on. Where's the proximity? Where's the line in the chase? Because we know what the leads look like. Jeff not as close on further tell as to what was going on, and Nick has a couple of spots there on the chase where he does quite well. So this is tough. This is a lot tougher than maybe we thought it was going to be based on that first run.
But this is what I was talking about as far as the three, the speed, the proximity, the angle, all of those elements, good, fast, and cheap. I think what we saw, and that's why I really like James, who is, again, defending champion. He wasn't really deep in the chase position. He had good proximity, but wasn't as deep as the lead car. So I think that really sets precedence, So, and look at, here we go, one more time.
Yeah.
And like you said, oh, look at that.
Ooh.
So, again, Robin Ishida actually sided with Jeff, but it is majority rule. So 2-1, Jeff and Noback will go at it again. So I think both of them caught a break. I think, regardless, we'll see it one more time. Throw it down to Cerise Taylor. Cerise.
Guys, I am here with a fan favorite, no doubt, Adam LZ, Florida. We're standing in front of your E36, but this is no ordinary E36. You are, from what I heard from Freddie, the fastest car out there. We're pushing like 1,300 horsepower. Why?
Why not, right? I mean, drifting, part of it is finding the limits, and I'm very fortunate to have Freddie on board, and we like experimenting, trying new things. We're not making 1,300 horsepower. Maybe we could, but it'd be a little much. I think right now we're like 11 and change, but it's definitely one of the fastest cars on grid right now.
So this track is a lot of fun for you guys, but it does pose some challenges. What are you focused on today?
The biggest challenge of this track that's always been a challenge even before they changed the layout is leaving the bank. We're going so fast that it's very difficult to get the cars to rotate and drive down the bank when we want to go there. And then you go from a pretty decent concave, gradual load up of the car to a flat surface where the car feels loose. So that's a tricky part of the track.
So with all this power that you're pushing, I was talking to some of the Kumo drivers. Tire strategy is a big element of conversation for those guys. You're with Tire Streets. Yeah. You're running your own, your own jam out here. What are you doing as far as tires? How many tires are you burning through?
Yeah, it's cool. Like you said, with Tire Streets, I've gotten to know a lot of different tires. So we kind of have different strategies depending on what track we're on, what the situation is. Here, a lot of it's just wheel speed. We can't get greedy with wheel speed, or we'll be going through our tires too fast, and we want to make sure they last. So gear changes maybe where we don't want to, or running less wheel speed than we want to, just to try to conserve the tire. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, do you have a strategy? Because we got James Deane, we got Osbo, and then we got you. Do you have your eyes set on anything today? Do you have a strategy that you would be willing to share with us?
Just one battle at a time. That's it.
Awesome, yeah. I love it. Well, we're so happy to see you out there. Everybody give it a round for Adam LZ.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you, Cerise. And here we go with O'Sully, Connor O'Sullivan, and re-entering the chat room, Wataru Masuyama. After Daigo Saito was not allowed in to the States, the keys were handed over from Jerry Yang to Masuyama. So here he is in that Jerry Yang Racing, the GT Radial 3M Toyota 86. Connor O'Sullivan, a Prospect competitor, making the jump from Prospect to Pro this year in the United States Army BMW. O'Sullivan initiates, working his way up top. Masuyama not shaking too much. The car's very settled there. Now O'Sullivan, you can see pulling up that front right tire. You can see that thing rip up into the power alley. Masuyama a little late on transition. Want to take a look at that? And it looks like O'Sullivan hung it out to dry. Masuyama couldn't really go anywhere. Let's take a look at it again. Right? It seemed like he hung it out there a little too long and got that 86 in the side of him. So we're going to have to, again, take a look at that overhead.
Yeah, it was a really interesting run, especially near the end, but off the bat, things look really solid for both drivers. Connor O'Sullivan right up on the wall, gets a bit of a tap there. Masuyama not shaking at any point. Does an amazing job of mirroring both the line and the angle, and I mean, good proximity. So much speed coming through that second outside zone, then third outside zone. O'Sullivan just a bit too much angle, and it's not able to get that forward drive out to catch the inside clip. It stalls things up, but for Masuyama, another amazing job of adapting to what the lead car is doing. So let's see with this drone view, what goes wrong for Connor O'Sullivan. It looks like completely maxed out on angle and just not able to keep that momentum coming through outside zone 3 to be able to collect the inside clip. So it's a bit too much angle, doesn't get that bite, doesn't get that drive out of it to push him to the next part of the track that needs to be in it. For Wataru, I mean, I can't say it enough. He is coming back really, really strong after a brief hiatus.
Yeah, I can't believe how quickly he adapted to that vehicle. I mean, Jerry Yang, he definitely builds vehicles that are capable. You're seeing that with Manoa. We saw that with Kazuya Taguchi, obviously Daigo Saito. Daigo and that car, I know Daigo really wanted like a big American kind of V8, so jumping in that car, it's obviously capable. So, Masuyama taking a hiatus, coming back, he did campaign in S15 previous years, but seems like he's not even skipping a beat, man, just back at it like a track addict, as we are looking at James Deane's Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Great video. Love Von Gittin Jr. I know he's not here in the building, but that new GTD Ford Mustang number 25. Beautiful looking car, that lead foot gray. I don't know if you've seen that vehicle. Those are popping up. Deliveries. Stunning. Holy cow. Give me the keys. Thanks, Vaughn. I appreciate it. My birthday's October, but you shouldn't have. You know my address. I'll expect it when I get back home. Going to Edmonton this weekend. Got an awesome event on Wednesday night. Hot August nights at Rad Tuerck Raceway. Nice. So it's going to be fun. We're going to snap on peeps next weekend. So that should be fun in Florida. But right now, it's a party here in Seattle. The battle in Seattle. Wataru Masuyama. Little, looks like maybe a Konos hit or somebody jumped it. Konos hit. All right, Konos hit. So we adopt the traditional stick and ball sports. 3 strikes. You're out of there. As James Deane keeping calm. Got his cool shirt. Literally, it's called a cool shirt. You can see the tubing there, keeping it cool. Nice temperature. A little warm for Pacific Northwest standards, so reapply, all you northerners here. You too, Jacob. I know you got the beanie that keeps you, but no bill. So
I've seen a few burnt people here. They were not ready for the sun, that's for sure.
No. SPF Canada.
Yeah.
Go and throw that on. SPF Sherwin-Williams. Just paint yourself with that and protect yourself. Yo, the beer garden and the little smoking area here, probably some of the best seats.
That's a great spot off the bank.
Bro,
man.
Those are like the smoke people. That's the smoking section. Literally not just smoking lung guards, but also cranking some smoke and debris in their face. Here we go, Masuyama and Juku racing. 86, ripping right now as Masuyama and Osoli cannot be shaken. Yes, sir, into that second outside zone. Masuyama brings it on into the third outside zone. Osoli comes up a bit short than the United States Army BMW. Now pass it inside, clip into that last zone. Osoli transitions, Masuyama stays in it. Bash indoors, bathing ape, smoky ape is more like it. Well done by Masuyama.
Yeah.
Minute to win it, didn't flop. This ain't no, basketball, soccer. You're like, my ankle. No, man, Masuyama took a licking, kept on ticking.
Yeah, what a great run. Connor O'Sullivan, knowing he's got that mistake on his first run, really has to battle back. Look at the contact already on the bank, just charging into the side of Wataru, who at no point even provides any sign of backing down. Lots of speed through these transitions, gets the car checked up, and right here, O'Sullivan knows he's got to make a dive, comes to the inside clip, loads it up, there it is, big old bash to the side of Wataru, who doesn't back down at any second. What a great run from both these drivers. Connor O'Sullivan, he's got to make this back. He's got to make an impact. He's got to do something crazy. And for Wataru, just a little bit more of the same, that consistency. I know this car is set up very different than the way they've got it for Manoa. I chatted with Jerry about it, and Wataru made it his own. He's doing such a good job in this car.
So what is he like? What is Daigo thinking?
No, it is much floatier than what we see with Hero, and but for the style that Wataru drives with, it's worked out so well.
Yeah.
And for Connor O'Sullivan, got to make something happen.
Oh, Osoli knew Wataru has shown up and he's shown out. So Osoli knocked out early in 32. He tried that last-ditch effort, but I'll tell you, Masuyama, when he had the clean air, he put it absolutely flawless out front. Osoli transition, I like the bash, but Masuyama taking that hit, that I don't think got him the win. I think his car placement was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. And then Osoli knew he had to really push aggressively. He banged doors, but not even affected at all. Here we are in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, going back and revisiting Jones and Noback here in the 32. So a few drivers already advancing, but as we go back, so 3 drivers already in the top 16.
What a great way to kick off top 32. We got one more times. We got cars hitting each other.
Track, dude.
So
absolutely
good.
Love this track. Jeff Jones, Nick Noback.
Yeah, and I mean, going back in the history of their battles, Nick Noback does have the one win. They've only met once before. I feel like it's been more than that, but yeah,
right?
Nick Noback getting the win out of that battle, and for Jeff Jones, he wants to clean that back up and do a really, really good job, and we'll see how this ends up playing out for him.
All right, play it out, as he says. Here we go. Jeff Jones will lead Noback in the chase. Jones initiates. He falls down a little bit on the bank. And look at Noback. Where did he find the secret sauce? Gaining some more power and proximity. Jones pulls that front right. He is absolutely on it. Again, we talked about that decel area that is justified, but a lot of these guys aren't even slowing down. They are momentuming their way into that power alley, into a lot smoother, refined like fine wine. That was really nice. Gaining some applause from the fans here at Evergreen. Really well done by Jones and Noback.
Yeah, you go back and you watch that run. You understand where you made the mistake, but look at Jeff Jones. Great amount of speed through that. Noback takes a tighter line to gain that proximity, does a good job of matching the angle. That's not something we talk about enough. Very difficult to be able to keep the proximity and match the angle. Now, Jeff, still a ton of speed coming through 2, does a good job through 3. Nick, not able to sink back all the way, but very, very smooth from both drivers all the way through, nice and flowy. All the changes that were made at this track, the widening, the change of momentum zones, all of it was to build a better tandem, and that means nice and floaty runs. Everything very predictable for the chase driver. Lead drivers, they've got this nailed. Everybody's laying down solid lead runs, and really becomes that chase game of how much proximity can you get without giving up a bunch of line or giving up a bunch of angles.
And you said it out of the gate. Chase, chase, chase. That's really what's going to decide a winner, a loser, an overall winner here. I think that's just going to be the defining moment of getting it done. How you chase, because that really defines what you can do, your car control, placement, all of it, utilizing all of the tools in your toolbox. Here we go. So Jeff Jones, you can see him, boom, quickly jump to the side of Nick Noback. Noback out front with red and black and smoky all over this battle. As we can see, Noback coming in. Jones getting a lot of grip. You saw that thing snap, and he gripped up, and you saw him, again, gapped up in that chase position now. This is very reminiscent of what we saw in that first battle. Had to play catch-up. We also saw that from O'Sullivan. Is that the play? We will see. So again, get that overhead view. Notably, it looked like Jeff hung it out a little bit too much on the outside zone too, ended up biting him, but he quickly got to the side of him in 3.
Yeah, he used that problem and turned it into an opportunity, which is a sign of a veteran driver. But look at Jeff, right in on the hunt all the way through. Nick with those adjustments coming off outside zone 1, outside zone 2 looks good. Jeff just a little bit too much angle, catches a grip, and that was it's a big mistake there, missing all of outside zone 3, but does a great job of catching back up, and Nick Noback going a little bit wide through outside zone 4. Jeff Jones not taking the bait, and running it into the wall. So for me, I mean, Jeff has such an amazing drive through the first outside zone, but Nick Noback provides all that opportunity. Look how stable it is. And there's those 2 corrections we see from Nick Noback. Jeff does a good job of adapting, but then just checks up a little bit too much through outside zone 2. Whereas Nick Noback on the throttle all the way through, absolutely blowing through that momentum zone.
You're tripping if you're gripping, and that's exactly what Jeff Jones did in that second outside zone. We'll see if that was an unfortunate turn of events, but like you said, Noback very settled on that first outside zone. And I mean, that just as big as it is and long as it is, to be that stable, that fast, like you said, quarter-mile drag strip, but sideways.
Yeah, it's so tough to do, and the track conditions change. You've got some spots that are in shadow, so the temperature will be a little bit different than the spots that are in light. And these drivers can feel it. Even a 15, 20 degree difference in track temp can mean everything when it comes to these drivers. They're making micro adjustments that, you know, from up here we may not be able to see. The judges are able to identify so many of them. But for both of these drivers to have such a great run on outside zone 1 was awesome. And will that one checkup for Jeff Jones be the nail in the coffin for him in this battle?
We'll see. But like this, going one more time. And again, kudos to the judges. We're really not trying to see as many one more times we have in the year past. Don't award not bad runs, but don't award lackluster runs.
Yeah.
Let's award, okay, that was so good, it's really hard to decide. But look at this, Jeff Jones gets 1 vote, 1 more time, and 1 more time.
Wow, okay.
I'm actually really surprised by that. I did not see it going that way. Maybe Nick, you know, I don't know if Reese, are you? Yeah, we'd love to talk with you. Just getting for sure. So Reese, down to you. I thought Jeff had a major mistake on outside zone 2. I'm not challenging you. I'm just questioning.
No, you're right. He did have he had a mistake chasing an outside zone 2, but in the lead, Noback also had a mistake in outside zone 2, and I also saw that he dropped a tire and a half, and outside zone 4. So for me, that's where I leaned over, giving the win to Jones, counting those mistakes valid enough. They viewed it as there was enough in between both of them for there to be a 1 more time.
Okay, and okay, all right. Still just, I was just bigging you up on the trying to minimize the 1 more times. You gave me a second 1 more time with these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Again, love you guys. Thank you, Reese. Thank you, Brian Eggert. Thank you, Robbie. And, of course, Vernon Zonveld will be joining us later on this year. But I'll let you guys digest those runs. In that meantime, let's throw it down to Cerise, who's with our 4-time FD champion, James Deane.
I am with the machine right now. James, we are here in round 6. Now, traditionally, you're an S-chassis guy, but we are running on the RTR program. Talk to me about the difference in driving styles and performance when you're out there in this Mustang.
Yeah, the Ford Mustang RTR is definitely the craziest drift car I've ever driven. It's like, it doesn't compare to anything else. You know, like an S-chassis, you're quite comfortable with it. It's the same all the time, but like we've been developing this car over the past 3 seasons. This is our 3rd year driving the car, and it just keeps getting wilder and wilder. And when you pull off a run in this car and it's like door to door or a crazy lead run, you really feel like you earned it, and it's just rewarding as a driver when you pull it off. It's so rewarding to you know, it's just a wild car.
Now, we know that you are no stranger to commitment. When you are out there, you become one with these cars, and you are currently the most winningest driver in Formula Drift history, right behind Frederick Oswald, who you are tied neck and neck right are right there in the bracket. Are you thinking about that?
Not really, to be honest. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, myself and Frederick have been just battling every single year. It's always crazy battles when we battle each other, and I think we battled each other 7 times, maybe 8 times already this year. And it's just amazing when we get to drive together, because you can fully trust him in the lead position. You go all out, he trusts me when I'm leading, and it's like, who makes the first mistake? It's wild. It's a battle again this year, and we'll just take it every battle at a time. And you can't forget about everyone else, because everyone else is pushing the absolute limits too.
Absolutely. Well, we are watching you without a doubt. Have a blast today. Have fun. Drive hard.
Thank you very much. See you all soon.
Look at James. How that dude is busier than, go ahead and fill in an analogy. Yeah, but dude's super busy. Yesterday was rapping out with him and just cool as a cucumber, man. I mean, I know you're off to do drift now, so imagine not just announcing driving. Right, it's very admirable. Speaking of admirable, let's talk about the Dozer. Local legend, Dylan Dozer Hughes, that royal purple BMW. He's going against Ben Hobson. Sliding to the door. Look at him just shimming his way to the side. Oh, he overcooks it. Going from outside zone 1 into 2. It might have been 1 or 2 tires. I don't think it was an incomplete, but there goes the Dozer. He knows this course. He's won this course. Evergreen Drift. He's from up here. Him and his brother Travis Reeder, they cut their teeth here. Reeder's not driving, but I know he's obviously a local legend as well. Let's take a look.
Yeah, a lot of pressure for both drivers. Obviously, Dylan in front of the home fans, and for Ben, just really got to try to get into that top 16. Ben has got so much aggression in here, and then Dylan slows down, and coming off that bank through outside zone 1, and then that was it. Ben not able to hang at that point. I mean, we can take a look here at the map here in a minute to really describe what all was going on, but yeah, that momentum change off of 1, that's what ended up doing it for Ben Hobson, man. That is a tough way to go, but it is what it is. So a lot of changes made even this morning to the track. You talked about the finish line being a little bit shorter to aid in how
the flow.
Yeah, and the other part that was added in was a bit of a decel. The drivers asked for it. They wanted a spot where they could make a momentum change from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2.
What's your take on that?
Well, Dylan made a momentum change out of 1 into 2. It's allowed, and unfortunately Ben is on the other side of it.
Here we go, Ben Hobson, the Pennzoil Mustang RTR, rips into that first outside zone. Good angle from him. Oh man, dragging bump, not leaving anything but a down, and literally leaving a bumper on the wall. Coming down to that second power out and second outside zone in the power alley. Nice job. I mean, Ben is on it. The car is on rails. And into that last outside zone, and that was probably one of the best lead runs we've seen.
Yeah.
Just as far as aggressiveness, placement, sideways, speed, all of it. Hats off to Ben Hobson. Might have got a bit of bad luck in that chase position, but again, apples to apples.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, Ben Hobson, obviously angry. He's upset, he's mad, and he's taking it completely out on that Mustang, banging it up against the wall. But look at Dylan, knowing he's got a bit of an advantage. The spotter would have been in his ear, letting him know that Ben, I think maybe dropping a wheel there through outside zone 2, but on so much speed through the majority of this run. I don't know if he lifted off the throttle at any point. It's a wild run. Ben just throwing caution to the wind, getting crazy out there in the lead, just trying to shake off Dylan Hughes, because that's what you have to do at that point. You almost have to lay down this crazy run to see what happens in the chase if they have some sort of error. But judges taking another look here. So Dylan Hughes, let's talk about the chase. So Dylan completely planted all the way through. He has the proximity. He's not completely on the door, but does a great job. And then even through here, doesn't maybe have the correct angle, but uses that to be able to cut back in. Does take out a little bit of outside zone 3 and then transitions out to outside zone 4. I mean, Dylan Hughes just calculated all the way through. Didn't bite at any point where it was going to catch him, and does such a great job at keeping things back as these drivers get out of the car. I mean, Warriors, young drivers.
Look at love. It's all
so
love.
Good.
Two great young men. Take the cars away. Fantastic young men. Love their energy. Really positive outlook. And we talk about Dylan Hughes and being a local legend. Looks like he gets the victory. The Dozer gets the win. This is where he cut his teeth. He knows, from Dirtfish to the drift course, he's been around. He's seen a lot of things. So congratulations to him and his camp. Speaking of local legends, we've been coming here for 20 years, and somebody I wanted to recognize is we lost him a couple years ago, Matt Risher, Afro Drift. He was up here announcing with me, a great young man, and Pacific Northwest, the core runs deep. Also, Gleb Antonov. He was another drifter that unfortunately took his life a little bit ago, and just a fantastic human being, and just a fun, very opinionated. I said he was a jerk in a great way. You had those dudes. But again, thinking of you, Gleb and Matt Risher. All right, moving on to the battle. Another one more time. So what's going through their mind? Where are they at? What can I do to solidify an advancement? Jeff Jones initiates. Nick Noback not backing down. Put a T in that last name. And there you have it as Jeff Jones comes into the power alley. You can see that second outside zone. Transitioning to outside zone 3. You can see how the track has been modified. Noback diving in way too early. Very shallow on outside zone 3. Bringing it into 4. And Nick Noback reels him back in. Puts another notch in that belt towards the finish line.
Yeah, they're trying to just figure out what do they need to do to beat the other driver, and in a lot of cases right now it's just to clean up a few of those mistakes. Nick Noback does such a great job in the chase through first part of outside zone 1. Look at this, completely on the side of Jeff Jones, who now adds that touch more angle, then drives out to outside zone 2. I don't know if he had a bit of a decel there, but then gets back on throttle. Now Jeff, unfortunately, missing most of outside zone 3, and Nick Noback now has to really quell his aggression. And you want to dive in, you want to put that impact in, especially after going 2-1 more times, but you don't want to overcommit and create an issue. And yeah, for Jeff Jones, that car is really gripped up, and when it bites, it's biting him really hard. Outside zone 3, transitions around, instead of the car floating back and getting into that zone, he's missing it. So for me, Jeff Jones, it's maybe a go back to the string lines, take a look, see how you can get that car maybe realigned a bit, something, because just when he's coming off throttle like that, the car's not floating up the way he wants it to.
I think floating's really coming into play, especially 2 to 3. Here we go, Noback out front. Jeff Jones for the second one more time, so 2 more times in this instance. You can see the wavering there. Now coming down the power alley, let's get precision. Let's not get crazy. Let's dial it in. There goes Noback in the outside zone. Jeff, you talk about the settlement, but look at that car just bouncing around in the last outside zone. Jeff once again. So a little bit of temperament, and the crowd erupts.
Yeah, great battle there. Absolutely great battle from both drivers who, they've got a lot of data on what the judges are looking for. I mean, there's a lot of notes coming back in after those 2 1 more times, but to me, Nick Noback really cleaned things up on this run. So Nick Noback right out there, lights off the tires really early, not completely into the wall, but he's keeping a lot of proximity to it and not a lot of adjustments. That front wheel stays on that dotted line all the way through there. Does a great job for the first outside zone transition, slows down, second outside zone, just skimming the edge of it, but it was deeper than the way Jeff was when he had the lead run. And the rest of these transitions from Nick Noback look super solid. These floaty cars, these loose, kind of controllable, stylish cars seem to be the ones that are taking the advantage right now. We saw it with Derek Madison last night.
And that was a happy accident.
That's
dude, call him Bob Ross, dude, because that thing was an absolute happy accident. Slide him left for Jones or right for Nick Noback after not 1 but 2, 3 battles. Noback comes out on top. Jeff Jones, the Evo Auto Works Nissan Z, knocked out, but Nick Noback, it came together. It came together for him. Like I said, it wasn't coagulated, just wasn't coming together. The pastry wasn't rising for Noback, but it all came together for him. Like I said, he just posted he recently lost his dog, and sometimes we don't deserve dogs, man. So I know how hard it is for him. So my heart goes out to Nick Noback. But right now he is moving on into the 16. We'll take a short break. When we come back, more drifting action here at Evergreen Speedway for round 6, the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
Link ECU, let's get it. We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20. Blink Monsoon is so rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine, and then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an FA24 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's stock K24 or it's a 1,000 wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
Ready to turn your passion into a career? At the College of Applied Technologies at the University of Northwestern Ohio, we offer exciting programs that put you on the path to success. From high-performance motorsports to hybrid electric vehicles, agricultural equipment to robotics and automation, we've got it all. With 70% hands-on education, small classes, and practical real-world experience, you'll gain the skills needed for a profitable and successful career in the skilled trades. Find out more at unoh.edu.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
These are my race treads for going the distance.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
All right, so some shaking up of some things here as we advance on to our next battle. We have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5. Moving on, our next battle is to be Shanahan and D-Mads Formula Drift Throwdown. The battle in Seattle. Round 6, the Formula Drift Pro Championship. 2 rounds after this, we go to Utah, and we end up making history on the streets of Long Beach. Now, the vehicle might look familiar on the right, but the driver and that vehicle combo never seen before. Connor Shanahan is driving Dmitry Brutsky's Pro Spec BMW. He dropped the piston, motors popped, so he got the keys from Brutsky, and here he is driving this vehicle for the first time. So this is allowed. We'll get into it just a little bit, but D-Mads, Derek Madison, and Shanahan, shoot, give this guy a BMW. No problem at all. D-Mads falling back quite a bit. Shanahan handling that vehicle, transitioning, gaining a little chuckle here from Jacob. You're like, what, how? I mean, he looks like a vet, like he's been driving this car all season.
We've seen scenarios like this before. Tommy Lamare back in Long Beach, right? Drivers get put onto the gun, they get put into a car that they're maybe not comfortable with now. We've seen Shanahan in BMW, so that's not anything crazy here, but not this one, not one that is not built for this size of tire, but you could not tell. Now, he does have to pull out a good chunk of angle to keep that speed, and Derek Madison pretty low on the bank, but yeah, Connor Shanahan out front, filling all those zones, absolutely flying through this course, considering, and for Derek Madison, he does a great job of cleaning things up through the second half of the run, but up on the bank, maybe D-Mads wasn't sure what was going to happen with Shanahan, but Shanahan was pretty sure.
Too much room.
Yeah, too much space. Now, I do like that D-Mads is able to dive in outside zone 3 and then collect the rest of this run, but outside zone 1 is kind of half the entire run, and then misses 2, but yeah, Connor Shanahan, you could give him a tricycle and he's still going to do the whole thing. This is wild.
There's an LS tricycle, sick, dude.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
the reason why Shanahan dropped a piston, motors popped, doesn't have the motor, so he parked his vehicle. That is why he is driving Brutsky's Pro Spec vehicle. So D-Mads now out front and that horsepower difference. What is Connor going to do? How is he going to adapt a new car? Like I said, it's one from the back, and Shanahan shows up. Derek Madison putting the car in the right places, but look at Shanahan adapt into outside zone 3. D-Mads, you saw that rates of angle, and then he threw more angle at it. That could have got a little sketchy there outside zone 4. I think Shanahan's going to campaign this car the rest of the season, just saying.
Yeah.
As the Irish flag waves here from the fans in the stands. Well done by, again, D-Mads, good lead run.
Yeah.
But was it too little too late for him?
Yeah, I think so, especially with that first outside zone of the chase. It's a bit of a struggle for him, but D-Mads gets up onto the bank, not quite as deep. Really what you're looking for, that front tire that we see there. Want to see that right on that dotted line, if not further in, but D-Mads not able to really push it that far, and then can't extend out to outside zone 2. Shanahan in the chase, though, does a great job of adapting all the way through. D-Mads' car looks tightened up again. I don't know. It looks like it's really, really quick in the straight line. It doesn't want to hold that angle. It is fast, but he's not able to get the angle and get that car where it needs to go. Yeah, it's tough. We did see a Derek Madison yesterday that looked really, really good, and I'm not sure what all has changed, but right now, that car not able to make it out to all those zones, not able to float it.
Well, you said you were getting some messages there, on the streams and everything, and like you said, some things were shaky and loose, but sometimes you just need that little extra unknown, the X factor. And Derek Madison, whatever nut he tightened, definitely needs to loosen it, because like you said, the car seems to be gripping up a lot more. And look at this, Shanahan gets the win in Brudski's Pro Spec backup car. He advances, so down but not out by any means. Unfortunately, Derek Madison knocked out by Shanahan, who is no slouch at all. And Cerise Taylor's with the local legend, Dylan the Dozer Hughes. Cerise.
Guys, I am here with Dylan. If you are here in the crowd, give it a round of applause for our man himself, local legend. You came out swinging in that first battle. Talk to me about how you're feeling.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. You know, the Mustang team those guys are no joke, right? Ben is sick. He's coming to his own in that Mustang, and just hats off to him. He's a great dude, a great human being, and a great driver. So, but obviously stoked to get the win. Moving on, the Royal Purple E46 is absolutely shredding. We're just clapping this 2JZ off the limiter, and it just seems to love it. So I'm fired up.
Awesome. Well, we will catch up with you later. Keep on swinging out there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cerise. And the smile says it all. He's got the heat waves on, and right now, look at this, Adam LZ and Austin Mata. Adam LZ currently third in points after that victory, notably in New Jersey. He loves that track. He does his own events. We're going to be out there a couple weeks for Legend of Drift, out there with Sun Kang and whatnot in the All-Star cast. Here we go. Adam LZ Drift HQ BMW, that E36 now coming into that first outside zone. Austin corrects quite a bit. A big mistake there from Austin now coming in that power alley. Look at the speed. Austin, where are you at? Bang, jumps out of the closet like a magic show in outside zone 3, past it inside clip. I'll tell you what, Adam LZ just has this confidence with this car, where he's at. It's his own thing. And like he said in Jersey, you know, he's won before, notably in the Mustang, but running and campaigning his own vehicle and doing it on his own accord, he's really stoked.
Yeah, incredibly comfortable. And it's funny because if you were to watch him in practice, they were trying wild stuff. I chatted with Matt Spotter, and I was like, what are you guys doing? What's going on out here? And he goes, let's try it now, and that way we know what we need to do when we come into battles. And Adam knows what he needs to do in this battle. Absolutely locked and loaded all the way through the whole thing. And for Mata, just tough to hang. It's an Adam LZ that's using everything the lock he can, and the wheel speed looks completely dialed. Everything about Adam's car right now looks great. His driving is incredible. This is an amazing momentum weekend for him. Unfortunately for Austin Mata, does still lay down a great run. When you're going against a driver who's on a complete heater, it is going to be tough. So we'll swap him around and see what happens next.
Yeah, you could just feel kind of the energy coming off him. You know, Cerise talking with him and just where he's at, the smile. Just he seems like he's in a good place. You know, just all collectively, you can just see his energy focus. You know, it's great to see him. He's just been a great addition over the years. Rookie of the year in years past in the Pro Spec Championship. So here we go. Austin now out front. It does Nata. As Austin Mata out front, coming out into that power alley. Quick little correction there. Get that car just right in the outside zone 2. Big angle. You can see him throwing out, and I like that. Just aggressive. Big flick from Austin in his last outside zone. That does allow LZ. I mean, talk about adaptability. Just drops into formation like the Blue Angels and brings it on home. So a good effort, but Adam, again, one to watch. He is in the hunt for a championship.
Yeah, he's got everything locked in. But Austin Mata, what a great lead run here. Holds that line super well. Could be a little bit deeper, but has a ton of speed. Adam does a great job of adapting to the line that Mata puts out. Has to take a bit of angle out of the car to push it wide for the second outside zone. Third outside zone looks good. And Mata sinking it in there, and then tons of angle through our inside clip. And Adam times that transition so well. Mata getting a little bit late to outside zone 4, but still collects all of it. So both these drivers, I mean, I really think Mata's run against so many other drivers to have him moving on to the top 16, but for this battle against Adam LZ, it's just tough. This is who his pairing ends up becoming, because Adam's on a complete heater and does a great job of adapting everything that Austin's throwing down in the lead.
Yeah, it was, like I said, the adaptability, what he's doing, how he's modifying that car. It's just so cool. And the E36, I mean, it's wildly popular in Europe. You know, he wrote one off last year, gets it back together, or gets a new car, and rightfully so. Adam LZ you know, it's cool to see his progression from BMX to drifting to his car collection that people envy, just the Hot Wheels collection. He's got him 1-to-1, not 1/64th, and then advancing on and just what he's doing. It's really great. So thank you to Adam LZ, not only for what he does in drifting, Formula Drift, but also just automotive world. So thanks, Adam. You know, it's pretty cool to see what he's doing. All right, so as we move on, Adam LZ gets the win, moves on. It's TLO and Rudy Hansen. Thanks for tuning in. We got Miles Parrish tuning in. What up, dog? I know you're a big drift fan. Saw you at Long Beach. Hopefully see you at LB2. Luke Formula Dread tuning in. We got Emily here from Pat Albin's office watching as well. And all Canada's watching. The French-speaking. Qu'est-ce que c'est TLO? There we go. Tommy Lamare out front in that Corvette. Rudy Hansen can't miss that thing. Coming to that chase position. Big gap there. We need Rudy to lunge, and lunge he does. I said lunge, not lunge. Go ahead and eat that smoke pile. Ooh, Tommy Lamare comes out of drift a little bit. Rudy diving in way early on the outside zone 3. You saw him transition in way early and quick. I think that was the level of optimization that he needed to do, or felt that he needed to do. All right. Now crossing that finish line. So some room for improvement on both sides of it. Tommy out front. Rudy, you saw him start right off the bat, pretty far back.
Yeah, for TLO, I really like how things looked to that first outside zone, but kind of loses a bit of patience and isn't able to hold that all the way out and has to make a big change for Rudy, though. I mean, yeah, TLO, that's a big correction to get out to the second outside zone. Everything else looks good, but for Rudy, that first outside zone, that was struggle to keep up with the speed of the Corvette for the Canadian. And Tommy, I mean, he's going to feel that. He's going to internalize that correction. We see it here one more time. Look at how much angle he's got to take out just to get to that zone. Does that chop off Rudy Hansen? Does that create an issue in the chase? But really for Rudy, kind of just a spectator through the first outside zone, front row seat to the TLO show.
Like that. Got the VVIP. He's got the best seat in the house. I tell you what, you know, there's an experience and then there's an experience. I'll tell you what. Rudy Hansen will lead. Tommy Lamare will give chase. Let's see what Rudy could do out front. He's got the clean air. I still think there's a window of opportunity. I don't see the needle going either way dramatically as far as a verdict here. So if Rudy puts down a good lead run or Tommy puts on a dominant chase run, that's going to be the deciding factor. Rudy initiates, but look at Tommy just wavering. I mean, the car looks like he's an IKEA shopping cart, you know, just that thing just shimming around, now coming into that second outside zone, now sliding into the third. There goes Rudy Hansen, great placement. Tommy Lamare aggressive. So Rudy gave Tommy that opportunity to chase him down, and Tommy seized the moment. Carpet Diem, Carpet Corvette there on the side, jumping that thing, looking rally crossing the finish line. So pressure on the judges right now.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on that, because that's a hard one to call, the first run versus the second run.
Yeah, Rudy does have a very solid lead run here. No massive corrections we saw. Now, maybe a bit late on throttle, maybe not quite as deep as outside zone 1 as we'd like to see. Want to see that bumper on the wall. He does a really good job of setting himself up from 1 to 2. Transition to 3 looks good. It's back on throttle. Tommy Lamare looks like making a bit of contact. Inside clip looks solid. I mean, this is a great lead run here from Rudy Hansen with a couple of minor things he's got to clean up, and that does provide an amazing opportunity for Tommy Lamare to be able to dial things in the chase. It's a difficult one. I was gonna say strange. It's not strange. It's just strange. It's just yeah. Both drivers need to clean up things a little bit and
tidy it up, man.
The judges need to decide what mistake means more. You know, Rudy being way far back on outside zone 1, or that momentary loss of angle, I didn't want to say straighten, that we saw from Tommy Lamare. These buzzwords,
it's all relative, I know.
Yeah, you say straighten once, that's it. And I'll tell you all everybody thinks about it.
Welcome to my world, bro. Sometimes these words and you hang on it, but rightfully so. You know, their careers are looking for it, and we're trying to elevate, man. We're doing what we're to do.
This is an incredibly difficult thing we're asking these drivers to do, and it's very easy for anybody to just criticize a small mistake, but for 99% of the people watching at home or here in the stands, we couldn't get around the track once. So these drivers able to do this.
Yourself.
Yeah, hey, I'm down. You want to go battle? I'm down.
I know you have your G35, right? You have your G35.
We got to find a car that there's a couple cars we can get you into. One of the RTRs would be good. So let's see what the judges think here.
Slide him left, slide him right, or slide him down the middle. One more time. TLO, Tommy Lamare, Rudy Hansen, rightfully so. You guys, you got to pay that cleaning fee, man. So clean that thing up. Extended stay, the Airbnb, but right now FD is what it is, as we are navigating this track. So let's learn more from the Canadian Tommy Lamare. Here is our clip tip.
Hi, this is Tim Lamare with your BC Racing Clip Tip, and today I choose the end of outside one zone because this is to me the most important part of the track. This is where it really comes to play because you carry a lot of momentum during outside one and you get to outside two and you really want to slow down, but you're not allowed to really brake your car before transition. So it's really tricky. You have to throw a lot of angle for outside two, between outside one and outside two, so it's getting really complicated, and to me it's my first time in Seattle, so it's all a learning curve, really fun, lots of new things happening at the same time. This morning I hit the wall twice, really a big learning curve. You know, it's a fast track, but still I think that this is where it's going to play out for the win or the lose during the outside one and the transition to outside one to outside two, and after that you have to slow down. This has been your BC Racing Clip Tip.
Is this it?
This is it! We've been holding power you make for 30 years. But here's the real question. How much torque are you making? Because every single ACT clutch is rated by the torque produced at the crank. That's all your clutch cares about. Your power, your performance, your success. Unrivaled precision, power, and durability. Visit advancedclutch.com today. 30 years of precision engineering and performance excellence. Because every revolution starts at the crank.
Need a little help? We got help. Need some advice? We got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
These are my race treads for when the road ends.
These are my race treads for shredding the slopes.
These are my race treads for setting the hook.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
All right, welcome back. There, look at, we got nature.
Majestic.
Here we are, wild, Evergreen Raceway, Evergreen Speedway. We're seeing nature unfold with the animals behind the cage glass. Reese Marin, Brian Eggert, and Robbie Nishida. Alive, Colombia, Japan, and USA being represented behind the glass box of emotion. Don't feed the animals, but you can feed them some treats or some Rockstar energy drink. Just right there. Look at that. We got nature, baby. Like a Nat Geo drift competition.
You kept that going way longer than I thought you would.
Yeah,
so,
it's all good.
Yeah.
We're here. We're here for it. It's 1:11. It's on time.
Yeah.
Rockstar Energy Drink, top 32. Mr. Shanahan, the other Shanahan brother. If you're a Shanahan fan, here's a Jack Shanahan for you. Jonathan Castro from DR, Dominican Republic, getting his first ever podium. momentum, trying to work out that car, get that float going. I said, your car's gripped up, and he pointed to his mechanic. He's like, it's his fault. And again, just finding that secret sauce. What's he got? Let's see if he can bring Dominican's finest back to the box. Jack as well. Again, got his first ever Formula Drift podium. He dreamt about it, he said. And finally, there he is, looking up at James Deane. I mean, everybody looks up to James Deane. He's tall. Jack Shanahan out front, and look at Castro. Boom! Finds it right there. Well done. Jack Shanahan backs it in. Dumps like a truck. What? BMW into that third outside zone. Again, there's that grip I was talking about. Castro, I think, might have got a little disrupted with that bumper tap of Shanahan. Oh, no! Shanahan shuts it down before the finish line. And let's take a look at Castro as well, because he shut it down, but I don't know if it was because of Jack. Don't want to jump to conclusions, but let's take a look at this again. Jack was on a heater.
He was.
The only thing I would say is might have impeded on that bumper tap into Castro, and did, again, wasn't independent. We got Manoa. What's that? Just a... Take a look. Here, look at it again. Run it back.
Yeah, Jack Shanahan right out of the gate looks great. Just able to get that car up to the wall, starts to gain that proximity on it. But look at Castro doing exactly what we expect from Castro. Really tight chase there. And then a bit of tic-tac contact all the way through from Shanahan catching that. And really the story unfolds on our last outside zone. What happened to Jack Shanahan? Transitions out. When he goes to get back on throttle, there is nothing there. So whether the engine shut down, maybe something broke, it's really, really tough to say. But yeah, just not able to put any power down at that point. And thankfully Castro gets the car, adds a bit more angle, and just gets a bit of a door tap on that one. That's really weird. Let's listen in, see if we can go in here. Oh yeah, breaks up right at the end. So can catch that engine noise, kind of just shutting down, and then a little bit of sputtering. And yeah, that is a tough go, and they are bringing it back to the pits. Don't worry, I don't think that oil trail was from him.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. We're just bigging up, Connor Shanahan driving the BMW. Here's Jack. That car is maintained and worked on by the RCP camp, the Garagistic camp. So it looks like Jack did hit the wall, and he damaged a wheel and tire. So
but turns it back around. I mean,
he jumped right back out there. He can call a comp timeout.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder if the shutdown was something else. I don't think he's doing a gear change. Like, I don't think he's shifting gears at that point, and maybe it was a misshift. But I don't know exactly if he would be changing gears at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, there's Jack pulling back up to the line. We'll see if he can call a competition timeout. The other driver would therefore automatically be able to change out his wheel and his tire.
Yeah, so we're just kind of running through all that
scenarios.
Yeah, so it's definitely a bit of a strange one. It's that. Yeah, I was going to say it's two independents, but it's not really in this case, and because Jack shut it down, and then Castro had nowhere to go, so he caught him there. So take a look. Okay, this is the other Shanahan team. Now take a look at the car.
Yeah, Brutsky, Shanahan. This is crazy, man. It's what I really love is, so I'll get to it. I'll break it down, but Shanahan has called a comp timeout. Formula Drift is 8 weekends, right? Yeah. We see each other 8 weekends, pro spec, obviously 4 of those weekends, but just all the other ancillary stuff, the Gambler, the Drift Masters, this event, I love just all the other noise, and then it comes in and you're like, dude, that was sick, that was crazy. Brutsky and Chelsea talking smack, loving that conversation. It's hilarious. But cooking in the kitchen. Speaking of cooking, Cerise, what's cooking down there?
Oh, there's so much cooking going on, guys. I am here with Connor. Connor, we had a mechanical failure. Talk to us about what happened, because you just piloted Dimitri's backup car, and you did it really well. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so unfortunately yesterday we had a mechanical problem. Thought we were going to be able to fix it actually, but when we went to reassemble the motor last night, we realized that something was pretty damaged, but we didn't have a spare to replace. So yeah, into Dimitri's Z46, thanks to him for giving me the Pro Spec car, try to get some points, and yeah, got through top 32. Put a Pro Spec BMW on the box before, so let's see if I can do it again today.
Absolutely. Now, what do you have to expect for this round specifically?
Oh, no expectations right now. That was actually the first I got in that car. Went down for practice, and we had a clutch slipping, so that was literally the first run in top 32. So trotted into the first corner, not really knowing what to expect. Haven't drove left-hand drive in quite some time as well. So, but yeah, people are telling me I need to build a BMW, so maybe I need to listen.
Yeah, honestly, a European for a European, I think that's appropriate. Now, you're out here with your brother. How does that resonate in your household?
Yeah, very special. It's amazing to have Jack here, such a talented guy, who's pretty much built all my programs. So amazing to see him on the podium last round, and I know he just had some bad luck, but yeah, great to be here together as brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, wonderful pivot, guys. Stay tuned for more. Best of luck, bud.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Thank you, Cerise, as we are seeing, this is Hansen, right? Hansen and Tommy Lamare. And this is one more time. It was unanimous. It was, thank you so much, a one more time unanimous between Hansen and Tommy Lamare. Beautiful day, like I said, 79 degrees, nice coastal breeze coming off. Absolutely. Bluebird day. Here we go, Tommy Lamare. The XPN Corvette, Rudy Hansen chasing him down. Tommy Lamare high on the bank. Looks like backing it in. Sensors are absolutely going off, smashing that back left, and that's gonna retire him real quick. That back left corner smashing in. Rudy doesn't need to complete it. This will be an advantage for Hansen. Tommy Lamare at a disadvantage. He can fix it, get the car back out there, but I'll tell you what, those Corvettes, not the easiest. That back end, when you need to work on that thing, it is very tough. Ask Matt Field and his camp.
Yeah, a lot going on back there, but Tommy Lamare all good, waving to the fans, and
Bummer for Tommy Lamare. What you were talking about it. Go ahead and elaborate on Tommy Lamare and his accreditation. Just what a great young man he is.
Yeah, I mean, coming from Canada, he's a legend. Coming out of the Quebec series, there's so many incredible drivers that drive within Quebec, and Tommy's one of the drivers that elected to kind of leave there and spread his wings and come down to the States and do a lot of driving there. But if you drive in Canada, that name just resonates with you, and he has just set such a high bar for drifting in Canada and Quebec in particular. So it's really cool for me to have a fellow countryman out here and somebody that I've thankfully been able to watch drive for a number of years.
Yeah.
So he's just a great guy.
Yeah, and the drift scene in Canada just has evolved over the years from Drift Mania, DMCC, FD Canada, you know, going to St. Eustache back in the day, RIP, kind of like the Irwindale of the North. You know, St. Eustache was just such a great track, some great memories. Us going up there. What is it? Mo Speed.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, there's iCar, Shannonville. There's so many amazing.
Yeah,
tracks
but I just remember going to those events and some great drivers over the years.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So, all right, well, let's take a look back at the young buck, Hiroya Manoa, making a lot of noise last year, this year, the youngest driver ever to podium in Formula Drift history. And Shinji Manoa, his dad, an absolute legend. I loved all the doting and all the lovable things being said about this father and son duo. Let's take a look at the Manoas.
I'm so excited to drive in with my dad in here, Formula Drift St. Louis. Then this is before top 16, so I cannot wait to drive in with him. He's very nervous now. So.
This is a father and son demo. Now, you know Hiroya Manoa, and you might know the car right there. That is Daigo Saito's car. Unfortunately, Daigo Saito, who lives in Japan, attempted to get over here, didn't have the right visa, had to turn around. Unfortunately, you know what? We're turning lemon into lemonade. So, Shinji Manoa, who's Hiroya's dad and an FD Japan champion, he's going to put on a little demo here. Father and son out here on the track. Oh, look at that little tire flyer there. So, Hiroya Manoa having some fun out here. Shinji Manoa out here in Daigo Saito's ride, just kicking things off, warming up the track for the fans, getting things going. Daigo, I know you're watching, and there it is, Hiroya Manoa. This track definitely likes his style, and he likes this track. Make some noise for this young buck. He is smiles for miles there. And there's Hiroya and Shinji, the Manoa, father and son.
How do you feel to be on the track with your son?
Of course, I'm happy to drive with him. Hard to tell because my son, but I'm proud of him.
OMT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Get out there and have fun. Because you've got Meguiars. And we've got your back. From wash, to paint care, to maintenance and more, Meguiars has your hybrid ceramic solution for every adventure. Meguiars, reflect your passion.
This is where champions are made. Born from Formula Drift. Engineered for your daily drive. Where Kenda's Vesda UHP Max Plus proves it's not just track ready. It's street dominant. This is podium to pavement. Vesda UHP Max Plus, only from Kenda. Find yours today at kendatire.com.
BC Forged Wheels, custom built per order, offering extensive design, finish, and machining options. Strength, style, and precision come standard. Track proven, street ready. BC Forged, proud sponsor of Formula Drift 2025.
All right, everybody, I am here with Ryan Tuerck. We have your car that just had a fresh motor put in, B58, great motor. You were the champion here last year, and this season, a win would just taste so sweet. So talk to me about this round.
Yeah, I love this track. This is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. I love just this area of the U.S. and the fans, and everybody packs this place out like it's one of the best rounds that we have, I feel. And the car feels great this weekend. The boys did a quick engine swap yesterday. Still got us out by the end of second practice, which was phenomenal. So hats off to them for getting me out there and getting some more laps in. So we're pumped, feeling good, comfortable, and can't wait to get out there.
What's your favorite thing about this car?
Man, that's tough. There's a lot of things I like about it. I really like the livery this year. I think John Sabal did a great job on it, and I really like the trailing arm suspension in the rear. The front steering kit that Papadakis Racing designed is also really good. Everything just works well. This is, I think, my 5th or 6th season in the chassis, so it's just even more refined than the years past. I just need to kind of translate that to the track and my results.
Now, as far as the track strategy goes, are you setting up for somewhere in the middle? Or are you setting up for the bank, the infield? What's going on?
We set up for every turn. Cool. So we try to give me comfort and performance in every single corner and transition that we have. And the boys have done a really good job with that. So the car has been phenomenal.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you're doing a phenomenal job. Keep pushing out there, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great questions. Thank you so much, Cerise. And like Ryan said, just all of it. You need to bring all of it to this track. High-speed entry, very abrasive, eats the tires. So attrition of tires, keeping the car together, tighten it up into that power alley, and then finish with a very unforgiving wall. Again, that truncated finish line by comparison from last year. As we go back to the second run of this battle, if you can recall, Shanahan got into the wall. He called a comp timeout. He had a chunk of his wheel taken out, so he was forced to take the comp timeout. Castro was allowed to change his tire, but he opted not to. So Castro going out in that lead position, and kind of a slow roll into this, but that allows Jack Shanahan to have good proximity there. And Castro, look at it, there's Jack right there. Castro, good angle from him on that outside zone, brings in an outside zone too. So not exactly the highest, but more precision, but definitely escapes that outside zone 3. That allows Jack to drop into formation, into that chase position, and look at right there. So again, Castro, good fluid, nice run, but it wasn't just bam, punch you in the face. So look at that, how quickly the tides turn there, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, really for Castro, what do you have to lay down to try and walk away with the win? You've got to make sure you get through that entire run, because for Jack, I mean, he wasn't able to. It came very close, but not able to complete an entire run. So really, for Castro, it's just get around this track. But to me, I'd be wanting to throw down at least something that I know I'm going to be happy about. For Castro missing 3, not amazing. A lot of drivers struggling through that section. And for Jack Shanahan, you've got to try and create some sort of mistake in the lead, being the chase car there. You've got to put a lot of pressure in. Basically, be in his mirrors the entire way around the track. Hope that something happens in the lead that allows you to take home the win here, because this is it's not looking good for Jack Shanahan, who had that massive shutdown and then that contact right at the very end for Castro. And a lot of other drivers, though, outside zone 3, just really not coming together for him. But other than that, Castro had a great job in the lead. Just, get that one thing dialed in, and Castro's set. So, yeah, get some hand signals going. I'd love to know what happened to Jack Shanahan at the line there.
Yep, here we go. Are we getting a verdict? Slide him left, slide him right. Shanahan and Castro. Castro gets 1 vote, 2 votes. So, again, too little, too late there for Jack Shanahan. Castro did just enough, but keep in mind, in order to advance, again, from 16 into 8, he's going to go against either Trenton Beecham or Odie Bakshi. So, Castro lives to see another day. Unfortunately, Shanahan getting into that wall takes himself out, so that definitely hurt him. But Jack, hold your head high. We'll see you in Utah. Loving to see how Jack Shanahan and his Formula Drift U.S. program proceeds. Trenton Beecham, Odie Bakshi. Saw Trenton Beecham in the lobby of the hotel this morning. I said, who you got? He said, Odie. I said, easy, easy. He was joking. He was obviously joking. He knows what Odie is capable of and how good of a driver he is. But I'll tell you what, Trenton Beecham, definitely a talented driver. Love his energy, his refinement, his progression as a driver. So let's see what he's got. Beecham will lead because Odie Bakshi, keep in mind, he got knocked out early in St. Louis. That's why he found himself in the seeding brackets, not locked in that top 16, got knocked out early on. And, his championship efforts, some crazy things really need to happen in order for him to get all the way to the top of the box and the biggest trophy of all 2025 championship. Trent Beecham initiates. Big angle from him, and look at this. Odie Bakshi's giving himself maybe too much room to breathe as Beecham, that ESR Kenda Tires BMW in a second outside zone. Beecham, settle. Look at this. The White Widow, baby. Coming into that inside clip, right on it. Now transition in, and we're cool, calm, and collected, but Beecham is as well. Wow. Speaking of Beecham, man, that guy's got a tropical drink in his hand, an umbrella, and his toes in the sand because he is down by the beach. He is chilling. Yeah. Jake chilling hard right now.
When Beecham is on it, he is absolutely on it. We're seeing that right here. I mean, he is a former Pro 2 champion. He's had a bunch of breakthrough events. When everything is dialed, he is there. Now look, he does have that correction coming off the bank. But Odie Bakshi's not nearly as aggressive, maybe not giving enough respect to Trenton Beecham. Has a great run here. Another driver, though, struggling on outside zone 3. And then by the end of this run, Odie Bakshi realizes the speed and precision that is coming out of Beecham in front of him and has to dial things in much, much better. But yeah, another driver outside zone 3 just kind of eluding them that little bit. But Odie, I would be a little bit worried for Odie at this point. Because
I think Odie got surprised.
Yeah. It's one of those, you gotta put some respect on it.
Surprise, mother father. You know what I'm saying? You thought I was gonna go there.
You got me.
Our eyes, all rise, large fries. Here we go, Odie Bakshi, Trenton Beecham. Odie Bakshi's out front field suspension S chassis. Look at Trenton Beecham. Where is this guy? Whatever he had for breakfast, do that again. Well done. Oh, he drops. Oh, he comes out of drift. So these guys are weeble wobbles into that power alley now into this third outside zone. There goes Odie. Trenton Beecham, gonna need that overhead. Let's get that truth serum in the kitchen, baby. We are cooking it up. Don't burn the meatloaf. Mom, meatloaf, what's she doing back there? Wow.
Yeah, really strange. It almost feels like, and this is a complete guess, that maybe Odie Bakshi's is down on power because I mean, Beecham was all over him on that first outside zone, and then for Odie, some strange things going on with the car gripping up or maybe not having the power to really put down. It's just not like what we expect from Odie Bakshi. So first outside zone, Odie's up there. He's up on the bank. Not a ton of angle, but tons of speed coming through. And there, those 2 spots, big corrections for Odie. He misses that second outside zone, is able to sink some of the car through the third outside zone. Beecham adapting quite well to what looks like a struggling Odie Bakshi's out front. I mean, everything looked really good for Odie in seeding yesterday. An incredible run all the way through, only losing to Brandon. This just seems very, very out of character for him.
Tell you what, the way Trenton is driving is really, really good. And again, with that humility of saying like, Odie, easy, he was joking, but he knows who he's going against. But that also, when you know what to expect, you're going to drive better. You know what I mean? Again, not naming names, but there's some drivers you're like, okay, I'm going to go against this guy. I don't know what to expect. You know what you're going to get with Odie.
Yeah, it's going to be heads up. It's going to be fast. He's going to be all committed all the way through. So to chase that is great, but just coming out of outside zone 1, those 2 corrections, just very, very strange, and then not being able to make it out to the second outside zone. So judges have a lot to look at. You know, maybe Beecham had a feeling early on.
I got a feeling. Slide him left for Beecham, right for Odie Bakshis, and look at this. Odie Bakshis is knocked out. Trenton Beecham gets the victory. Well done by Beecham. Like I said, the confidence there. Well done by Beecham. Like I said, I think that Odie gave him a solid lead run in order to chase him down. So good job by Beecham. So as we're taking a look at the replay, Reese Marin, going to you.
Yeah, as we can see here, we see Travis Beecham does a really good job in the lead. We can see also in the lead in Odie. He makes a massive correction here that impedes on the chase driver, messes him up in the chase. It was just too much to overlook. So what we're having here is Beecham does a better lead than Odie does, and in the chase, Beecham does a better job in the chase as well too. That all considered, Beecham gets the win.
Thank you so much, Reese. And it just very uncharacteristic of Odie Bakshis, and here he is finding himself out in 32 again.
Yeah.
You know, and I think championship hopes are out the window at this point. You know, unfortunately, just 2 rounds left after this. Knockdown 32 back-to-back. So, but you know what? Trenton Beecham gets the win. Hats off to him. He's going to advance on. He's going to be going against that of Castro.
Yeah, that'd be a good battle for him.
Yeah, but, you know, Castro, like I said, he needs to step up. If he does the same thing that he did against Shanahan, Trenton Beecham's going to take him out, so he really needs to rise to the occasion. Moving on to our next battle, Rome Charpentier, RCP, and Rad Dan Burkett doing Formula Drift Instagram Takeover, a great addition. Rad Industries, that Mark IV Toyota Supra. He's been chasing down the Garagistic BMW RCP, Rome Charpentier. Rome's mom and dad always in the building, and they're cheering him on. Proud mom and dad. Here we go now, initiating in. Good straight line approach. Brad Dan comes out of angle. He is riding the wall. That's not where you want to be. You just want that back bumper, not that driver's side. Rome Charpentier does need to complete the entirety of this run. He will have an advantage. Rad Dan Burkett having issues. He crawls his way, tail between his legs.
Yeah, man. Look, everything looked so good for Rad Dan all the way through practice. Really had things dialed in. I mean, a driver that took home 4th here in 2022. He's no stranger to this track and normally drives it quite well. So once we get back to the replay, we'll understand maybe something happened. Not entirely sure. So Rome out front, Rad Dan following in behind, and Dan just not able to keep that car at angle. Grips up, slides around, and ends up putting the front end of the car, taps into Rome. Thankfully for Dan, he's not riding that wall all the way around. That could get a lot worse for these drivers, and for Rome, got to finish that run out, being in the lead. Doesn't matter what's going on in the chase, does a pretty good job here through these zones. One of the better drivers through outside zone 3, transitioning through onto our last outside zone. Rome looks quite solid in the lead, and for Rad Dan, I'm really curious what all went down, because it just looked like a shutdown right off the bat for Rad Dan, who's now making his way back to the pits, and we'll see what his team gets their hands on and try to understand what all was going on with that Mark IV Supra. It's just weird.
Tap Dan, that was crazy, man. I mean, again, Rad Dan being more a little sad Dan right now. And you could see it. He's not a wildly emotional driver, but when
I know. Yeah.
But when he wears it like a bad suit. You know, you could read him like a book.
Yeah.
So you saw him pull off just all that. Unfortunate for Rad Dan. Let's go down to the pits. Cerise, where you at?
All right, guys, you got to cue me in. All right, guys, I am here with Trent Beach. That was a big win.
That was a big win. We're stoked right now. Took out Odie is amazing. I mean, he's like top 5 right now in points, so that's a big win, a big boost for our momentum in the series, and happens in the top 16, maybe we take it all the way today.
And the ball is...
Tires, finally. We ran out of tires. That was the last hit. So if we had one more time, we were screwed.
All right, awesome. Now, this is the Kumho tire program that you're running on. There's a bit of tire strategy going on this weekend. Talk to me about that.
Consume. Try to, I mean, we only get 10 tires for the weekend, so try to save them and use them wisely and make it count every time you go out.
All right, cool. So what's next for you right now? You're going to go change some tires and then what?
Try to get a breath, relax, take it all in, watch the video, see how it looks, because it was close. It was a really sick battle. Like, we were both really close to each other, I felt, so.
You guys brought the energy. Go revel in this win. Go change your tires, and we're going to catch up with you later, okay?
Appreciate you. Thank you. See you out there.
Bye, y'all.
All right, hyped up. Look at Trent Beecham, all hands on deck. And he said it, we're just making sure he is up to snuff and ready to send it. So Rad Dan heads back to the pits. He has an uphill battle at this point, getting into the wall because RCP did complete it, so he will have a competitive advantage. We are more than halfway through, and we still need to revisit this as we are going back to it.
Yeah.
Is Tommy Lamare and Rudy Hansen. What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, for Tommy having that big incident, now he's got to be absolutely perfect and kind of hope that maybe something happens with Rudy Hansen before. And take a look at how this bracket is starting to come together. I mean, really, the winner of Tommy Lamare and Rudy Hansen, their prize is you get to battle Adam LZ. Yeah, and then this bracket is going to be nuts for top 16. James Deane, Brandon Sorensen, that is just right off the go. It's a
right off the rip.
Yeah, juggernaut battle. Nick Noback, Watt-through. Both drivers just really have a lot to prove right now. So top 16 already looks great.
This season has really shaped up. Yes, we have, Freddie and James Deane leading the charge, but I'll tell you the variety of drivers that have won or progressed. Here's Beecham, here's Castro, here's Manoa, and here's Hansen and TLO. Here goes Rudy Hansen initiating. Tommy Lamare chased him down. Remember, Tommy Lamare took himself out that back left corner, smashing it in. Oh, and Rudy Hansen does exceed the track line, but we'll see if he can salvage this. Rudy Hansen kind of parking it there, transitioning, but is that going to be offsetting? He had some mistakes. Is that an incomplete? 2 tires off for sure, transitioning out. We saw TLO go off course, and I'm sure we'll get a side-by-side here, but if you can recall, TLO going off course, taking himself out.
Yeah, big thing I'm looking at here is with Rudy Hansen, did he go 3 wheels off? If he did, that is incomplete for him at that point. We get into a really interesting situation where both lead drivers incompleting 2 different parts of the track. Tough to say there, but if he didn't, it was right on the very edge of the line. Getting through the rest of it, though, I mean, with that awkward line that we saw from Rudy Hansen, does not set himself up well for the rest of the run. Is able to salvage it, and Tommy's able to salvage it as well, but just not a great time there for either driver, both struggling coming off the bank. So it's really tough to tell. Definitely 2 wheels off there. First glance, I thought maybe he did go 3 wheels off for Rudy Hansen, but we'll have to see. I'm sure there's a couple of camera angles we can play with. The judges now taking a look at everything we got, and this is going to be the truth. Oh, that is so close, right in the shadow of the car. Oh, man.
You're merely adopted. I was born in it.
That line was living in the shadows there.
That's what I said. That's exactly what it was implied.
That is a tough go for both drivers, and the judges are going to have to scrutinize this as much as possible to understand, did Rudy actually complete that run? He did park it pretty hard outside zone 3, and Tommy Lamare might have some luck on his hands here, but not entirely sure.
Let's see what we got. Slide him left for Tommy Lamare, right for Rudy Hansen, and Tommy Lamare got a big break there, literally got a big break. He took himself out. As we are taking a look, and looks like we're going to get some words from Reese Marin. Judges review. Reese, over to you, buddy.
Yeah, as we can see here, we see Tommy Lamare has a huge error at the end of outside zone 1. Ended up getting the 0 there. And then when we go into the lead for Rudy, you can see right here that is 1, 2, 3 tires off. That is 2 zeros in the lead, and we're going one more time.
Yep.
Yeah, just 2 incompletes. I would say Tommy's, but sin is sin, essentially, as the old saying goes, right? So he hit the wall. Tommy goes off course. Rudy 2 tires off, but he impeded. He checked him up, through a wall, through a block. So, again, don't want to award lackluster runs, but both of them being such 3 tires. Oh, he was 3 tires off? Okay, thank you. Yep. Again, I was just doing my Bane impersonation, so that's priority. There were 3, so just clarifying. Thank you. You're breaking up here. We're across our little wood lodge over here, talking about what kind of birds they are. That's ospreys up in the hill. All right, so we are looking at Federico backing up. Is Fetty out?
That is the way it is looking. That's the word I'm getting through my headphones right now is Federico.
Tapping out, huh?
Yeah, so that's going to be a bye run for Mr. Manoa.
Well, that's somebody you don't want to just be part of the conversation, because Manoa, yeah, there it is. So it's a bye run for Hiroya Manoa in Juku Racing 86 Jerry King Racing vehicle. He will advance on. So let's listen to the young man that is advancing on. He got his first ever win, the youngest driver ever to win in Hateley.
Manoa, I mean, he's definitely a competitor who wants to battle all the way through, but for him taking that, it's, yeah, I mean, pick up those points, keep pushing things through, and keep cementing that legacy that he's building at such a young age.
Yeah, his dad, his mom, all drifters, and absolutely first family of drifting. And there's quite a few of those. You know, the Sorensen, you got the trios of the kids. They cut their teeth in BMX to karting to off-road, the dad. And then you got 3 wizards. 3 wizards step into a Formula Drift event. Look at these guys. Got an Iron Maiden shirt. Is that a Star Wars shirt? There's the little blue V-neck. Just sweating it out. Look at these guys. The power is yours. What you do with it is up to you. How shall you choose your weapons and your power? With great power comes great responsibility.
That's blending a lot of movies.
I know, exactly. That's the way my mind works, dude. Just take all those ideas, shake them up, and see what comes out. We are in the Kumo Tire burnout box. And they are making their way to the start line. So this, I believe, is that
the second battle here.
The second battle.
Yep,
yeah,
RCP.
Thank you. So yeah, Rad Dan, as you saw earlier, going off course, slamming into the wall. So Dan Burkett will lead. He chased him down. Rome did finish it out, so he has a major advantage here. Rad Dan, and we've seen this. We said, hey, run your run. What's going to happen? So yeah, he needs to have a good lead run, and he needs a mistake from Rome Charpentier. There goes Rad Dan initiating. Rome Charpentier giving himself quite a bit of room there. Is that strategy or is that a mistake? I would say that he's still. Whoa, buddy! Rad Dan throws some more angle at a massive angle, exceeding the track line, but that's going to be 2 tires, or maybe just 1. But just that wall hit, looks like Rome does keep it together, and he will have an advantage. Rome flirting with shut it down there before the finish line, but lets Rad Dan unwind past that finish.
Yeah, for Rad Dan, he's got to throw something down that's completely epic and hope, same thing, that there is an issue with the chase car. But unfortunately for him, that did not happen here. Rad Dan lights off pretty early, getting out to the wall, not a ton of angle, trying to run away from RCP, who does give him a good breath all the way through. Coming off that bank, though, there is Rad Dan, tons of angle, and superseding the edge of the track by those 2 wheels, as Jared said earlier. Rest of the run looks pretty solid here from Rad Dan, and Rome getting pretty close at that finish line and shutting her down, but able to keep the drift and continuing on. We did shorten up that finish line for the drivers as per their request, so they weren't just kind of driving straight at the end of it, but judges now come out with their verdict.
And there it is officially. Rome Charpentier moving on. Dan Burkett giving chase. Thank you for tuning in. Sam Nalvin, a.k.a. Drift Idiot, the Race Service Boys.
I haven't chatted with Sam in some time.
You're chatting with him right now.
Oh, hi, Sam.
What would you like to say to Sam?
I miss our text messages.
Okay. Look, hold on.
Yeah, I know.
Look, he's going to text you. Moving on to Frederick Osbo, the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, the Rockstar Energy Drink pilot. Daniel Stuki. Stuki campaigning his vehicle this year, and it the Kenda Tires, Sylvia S15. And let's see what Freddie can do. We know that James Deane has already advanced on. He's going against Sorensen. Freddie in the hunt for a 4th championship, and James Deane on the hunt for a 5th and defending championship. So I see you shaking your head.
Just either one is crazy to think about.
Yeah,
right?
And Adam LZ nipping at their heels.
Yeah, he's got a real shot at this too.
Yep.
But everyone's got a bunch of people and a bunch of runs to go through first.
Absolutely. Frederick Osbo will lead. Changing up tires, you know, and something that sticks out in my mind is round 1. He says nobody talks about the front tires. I mean, they're running the same manufacturer front to back, but how big of a role does that play? And that was something he brought up on the podium with his victory. So we'll see if it lands well here on a very abrasive track here. I mean, it's like 5 grit sandpaper. It eats them alive. And look at that, Freddie. I mean, just no doubt the placement of that car, and just so settled. The car is stuck to it like a Dyson vacuum now. Oh, buddy! And just as I talk about that, looks like Freddie shut it down? Or was that Stuki being too aggressive? Let's run it back. Again,
yeah.
it seemed that, to me, it seemed that Freddie was slowing down.
Yeah, I caught the same vibe right off the first viewing. And it's hard to say.
Oh, boy. The plot thickens.
Yeah, that was really, really strange. All right, kicking things off, Frederick Osbo out front, Daniel Stuki in the chase. I mean, Osbo looks so planted all the way through this. Look at the line that he carries all the way through. Stuki in that chase real hard. Osbo makes a bit of a momentum change there. Outside zone 2 looks good, outside zone 3, and this is what we got to watch for.
He stops. He absolutely stops. He taps the wall, and it looks like it just triggered it, right?
Yeah.
I could see the smoke coming from your ears and the back of that Supra, but it doesn't come from the back.
It's a really weird scenario. It does on viewing look like Frederick Osbo might have shut down through that section or something turned off. Catches the wall. He still has angle. I'm not seeing the tire smoke. Little tough on that angle, but yeah, that is.
They're saying Osbo's at fault.
Okay, well, we're going to have some conversations here with spotters and everything else trying to understand what is going on, but that is very, very strange for Frederick Osbo, who then pulls off. I mean, for the championship implications, this is everything.
Sorry to cut you off, but the spotters are right in front of us and looking down. The body language cannot be read by Frederick Osbo's spotter and just taking it on the chin. Just like, yep, yeah. I mean, there was no like questioning or anything at all. So look at this. This is very interesting. We talk about the championship. So let's listen up and listen to that exhaust note. That was a violent hit. That was wheel on wheel.
It's a good crack.
That's a good crack, man.
Yeah. I mean, not good
Let's
crack.
give it a crack.
That's
That's a bad crack in the, if you're one of the drivers or the teams. But very interesting for Frederick Osbo. Uncharacteristic. Car shuts down. Freddie's at fault, and now the plot thickens for the championship. And look, this battle's not over. If you're a Frederick fan, you're pulling for him. I met some young kids building Legos earlier. They are all Frederick fans. They've been coming since they were like 4 years old, and it's really cool. But right now, if you're a Frederick fan, you're wondering what the heck is going on. That was absolutely uncharacteristic of that vehicle, that driver, and that combination.
Yeah, really strange. I was hoping to get some sort of reading. Even Steph Papadakis right in front of us, trying to see if there was anything coming off of him. But just a really, really strange scenario, and unfortunately a pretty good hit. Now, for Stuki, this is a massive, massive advantage. But the rest of his run looked really solid too. So Stuki's on it, but man, it's
all right. So, yeah, sorry to cut you off. Cerise has a report. Cerise, down to you. What happened?
Yeah, guys, of course, this is very uncharacteristic of Freddie. Now, he just told me while he's in the car, his team is obviously taking care of what they need to. It was a misshift. Unfortunately, these things happen when you're driving at this level of competition. These variables do come into play. Let me see if I can get, hey, Freddie, really quick, any strategy going into this next lap?
We just got to do what we can do behind him, but it's really up to to Stuki now to put down a good lead run. If he has a mistake, you know, we might get, but I think the chances are pretty slim. But we're going to try and get this ready and get out there for the chase.
Yeah, wonderful. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you, Cerise. Great insight there. It happens. And this is what I talked about. You know, they do have imperfections, and that one was wildly highlighted in that third outside zone, tapping the wall, misshift. There it goes. So here we go with one more time. This is the second run of this battle. It looks like it will be a restart.
Yeah, to get the guys flip back around there as we take a look in the pits here with Osbo, and it looks like they're checking all the suspension arms to see, make sure everything is all good to go. A couple of tools handed over, running out of batteries, hot swapping those, hot swapping engines, battery packs, everything.
Yeah.
The team is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, great. I'm just absolutely baffled on something, but that's what you get, you know, with Formula Drift. You're just like, you know, somebody asked me, who's going to win? My buddy James is like, who's going to win? I'm like, I mean, all signs are saying it's James and Fred, but then something like this happens.
Yeah.
All right, so here goes Tommy Lamare out front. Rudy Hansen in the chase position. You can see a good angle there from Tommy Lamare. Look at that jump. You can see there's a little hop there at the tail end of the outside zone 1. Popping through the smoke is Rudy Hansen. Not as close as he needs to be. Now past that inside clip, transitioning back and around. In that last outside zone, Rudy Hansen just bathing and marinating in that smoke. Looked like something off of your grill there, homeboy.
I could only be so lucky. I'm dreaming of the grill. Yeah, dreaming of the grill when I get home. But Tommy Lamare, changing up a little bit on this car. It seems a little bit more hoppy, as Jared was alluding to. First outside zone. He's got it up there, a bit of a waggle back and forth, trying to find the grip, find the balance in the car. While Rudy, lower line, not able to get that proximity and that bit of a hop that we talked about earlier. Second outside zone looks much better, obviously better than running it into the wall. Third outside zone from Tommy looks great. He is much more locked in, and then a late dive for Rudy Hansen before outside zone 4, just to try and gain that proximity, finish the run on a high note, close to the car, hopefully influence the judges a bit there as we flip back over, and we get here 1 minute 45 left on the clock for the Osbo team.
That would be a crazy early retirement. Frederick Osbo, James Deane advancing, James moving a step closer and then advancing on. Adam LZ could shake things up, sitting in third, lurking in the shadows. Here we go, battle at hand. Rudy Hansen, Tommy Lamare. The second half of this battle is one going to rise for the occasion and move on. Hansen out front, initiates. Tommy Lamare, good proximity, gives him a little bit of room. You can see him inching closer. Rudy Hansen at speed, coming into that power alley. Great angle there from Smash. Now into that third outside zone. Tommy Lamare hung it out a little too long. Saw him rip up, escaping that third outside zone past the inside clip. Both transitioning flawlessly into that outside zone 4. Well done. An exclamation point, but some mistakes in the middle. So a bit of a, bit of a sandwich. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Clock continuing to run down below a minute at this point. We've got mechanics still under the car. I don't know if they're going to beat the clock here. Oh man, tough go. We'll get back to that in a second. But our battle at hand, Rudy Hansen in that car out. Not out to the wall as much as we'd be hoping for. But Tommy does a good job of adapting to the lower line of Rudy Hansen. A little bit of a left foot brake, taking a pretty tight line in, just getting in and out of that zone. For Tommy Lamare, overshoots just a little bit. Was following the line of Rudy Hansen throughout that great transition from Tommy Lamare. Puts him right back into the side of Rudy Hansen at the fourth and final zone as we see the seconds count down. That's it.
No way. Oh, he made it. Holy cow. Down to the second. Is that legal? We good? He said he made it. Yo. I didn't even need to ask. So, yeah, thumbs up. It looks like Frederick has made it. Still, even with having gotten the car back together, you're baffled. Dude, pick up your chin.
Man, I thought that was it.
Is that drool?
A little bit. That was incredible. That team got that together.
All right, Tommy Lamare, Rudy Hansen looks like TLO. Tommy Lamare from Canada gets the win, advancing on after a one more time battle. Tommy Lamare definitely got a lucky break with Rudy Hansen making a mistake on that battle. The hood is popped, and unfortunately, little insult to injury. Hopefully Rudy's car is okay. We'll see him and his lovely lady Shelly, and we'll see them in Utah as we advance on. What do you got?
Just Sam text me.
Told you.
Yeah.
We are 3/4 of the way through our 32. We got some great battles. Again, Deane versus Sorensen, Noback, Masuyama, welcome back. Dylan Hughes, Shanahan, LZ, and TLO.
Yeah.
Castro and Beecham, that is anybody's game. I think, like I said, Castro beat the way Beecham's driving. Holy cow! Look out. RCP, Rome Sharp and Tier. I think I'm expecting more from RCP. I know what he's capable of, and Manoa, as we all know, just the young buck is definitely a weapon. Here is our winner from last year, Ryan Tuerck, in the burn-up box. What were you going to say?
Manoa's kind of been iced out, though. That's the other part is, not competing in seeding, not really having that battle in top 32. It's been a little bit since he's driven a head-to-head, and we've seen that wreak havoc on drivers before. So you never know. You never know. But this is a battle I'm definitely looking forward to. Ryan Tuerck, Simon Olsen. This is good. Simon really coming to form. We saw it in seating earlier.
Yep.
Just really, really good. Getting that car figured out, the team getting everything dialed in, and Ryan Tuerck, winner here last year, needs this, really wants this, already had an engine go. This weekend, the team swapped it out in what feels like record time. So both drivers hungry for this win in a bunch of different ways, and just very much looking forward to this battle.
Let's see, Ryan Tuerck leading Simon Olsen, giving chase. Tuerck talking about setup. Simon Olsen just progressing, just where he's at, the car setup, everything. I just feel like he's just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think just him as a driver coming from Norway just a few moons ago, and the way the super setup is definitely, it is a competitor. Here we go, Ryan Tuerck talking about his setup and what he needs to do. And look at both these cars, very settled. It's all Toyota battle. Ryan Tuerck, that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla now coming into the into the third. Simon comes up way short on the third outside zone. Giving him all the praise like you do. And now in that last outside zone, there goes Ryan. He said he loves his track. Obviously, the track loves him.
Yeah, he looks really smooth throughout this entire thing. And for Simon Olsen, just getting caught in the smoke, and then it becomes a bit of a patience game and trying to time out when you need to punch out. And unfortunately, not able to get it dialed in. But man, look at Tuerck and how quickly he gets that car to angle and how stable he looks through outside zone 1. It's such a great opportunity for Simon to show off his chasing ability. He does a great job. Now through that second outside zone, that's what it was. I mean, Simon Olsen gets caught in that smoke line. He doesn't transition at the right time, but doesn't panic, doesn't freak out. And this shows how much he has grown up as a driver, where so many drivers would just freak out and not know where to go. For Simon Olsen, he lets instinct kick back in, get out of the smoke, find where you are on track, and get back into battle. But for Ryan Tuerck, completely locked in all the way through this run. Tuerck is on form. And now for Simon Olsen, he has got to put down a monumental lead and hope that Tuerck makes an uncharacteristic mistake in the chase.
We'll soon find out. Simon Olsen will lead. Ryan Tuerck chase him down. Just a few more battles of our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Steve Mateus, shout out Jen Calvin. All the Rockstar cats had a great time celebrating Colby Raha, 205 feet, breaking a world record. The largest jump on a V-twin ramp-to-ramp at Sturgis last weekend, so that was awesome. Speaking of Rockstar Energy. Right now, it's all Norway versus America. Toyota versus Toyota. The Mark V Super of Simon Olsen out front. Settled. Look at that. That lip almost dragging on that right wheel off the ground. Into the power alley. Great proximity for Ryan Tuerck. Looks like he comes up this short. Little failure to launch on the transition from Ryan Tuerck. Not as dramatic as we saw from Simon Olsen. The placement of Olsen right now, really well done. Again, little mistakes here and there, but some real good initiation. I got to say, both of them executed the lead versus lead and chase versus chase on outside zone 1, but the tumultuous part is, again, in the middle, the meat.
Yeah, both drivers, as you said, their initiations look good. Nice and fluid out to the wall. With Simon, a couple of corrections. You see that left foot brake kicking off. That's that smoke off the front tire. And then Tuerck really gets into the pocket there. Simon puts a bit more angle. Tuerck over angles a little bit on second outside zone. And then right there for Simon Olsen, third outside zone looks solid. Tuerck back into the fight by the fourth. So really interesting, this cause and effect that we see with the lead versus the chase. This is definitely an interesting one. That new momentum section that the drivers asked for coming off outside zone 1 is wreaking a little bit of a havoc. This is one of those sometimes you get exactly what you ask for, and may not be exactly what you want. So judges, taking all the consideration from those drivers and saying, yep, we understand that a bunch of you are seeing a bit of a momentum change coming off of 1. We'll allow that, and if something happens, we'll leave it in our hands, and that's where it is right now. So BC Racing custom coilover side by side. We've got Simon Olsen out front on the right, Tuerck out front on the left. Proximity looks very similar between both drivers in the chase. Coming off that bank, looks like a bit more of a midline for Simon Olsen. Tuerck gets out a little bit wider, but then Tuerck missing outside zone 3. Inside clip looks very similar to both drivers. And then outside zone 4, very similar once again, although Simon maybe a bit closer through there. So yeah, just it's a sparring match here between these drivers and the zones that they need to clean up.
Yep, so again, just different advancements from the programs. Simon Olsen obviously progressing. He made his introduction to FD. He parked the Supra, went to Odie's camp, and now here it is, a one more time across the board. Yeah, it's unanimous. And I know Chris Bergender, he stepped up as part of the program and getting that car dialed. Talking to Simon Spotter, it's Chris's lady, and just overall program has changed. One more time, I kind of had the needle going. I'm not going to say which way. I kind of had a Victor.
Okay.
I had the needle going one way. I could see why. It's like 2 good runs. I had the needle going one way. Again, not saying it.
I get it.
But
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. All right, well, we get ready for a Matt Field bye run, so Field will advance on because Brutsky is unfortunately out. Let's throw it down to Cerise.
What's up, everybody? I am here with Tommy Lamare. Tommy, give me some of that good Canadian energy. You just had a phenomenal battle. After that one more time, talk to me about what's going on in your head.
Yeah, honestly, when I hit the wall in the first one more time, I thought it was over. I was just thanking the fans to be here, and I was like, all right, we put it in the trailer and that's it. And when we came back, I said to the guys, all hyped up, okay, let's do it. And I was like, okay, I have nothing to lose for my chase. I put a lot of pressure on my friend Rudy, and he did the mistake, so I was like, all right, that's a sign. The rest is just fun. And we throw a nice cleaner lead, and a nice chase, and we just got the win. So the rest is just fun.
That win tastes just as sweet as that Canadian maple syrup that you guys got hanging out of the booth. I love that. Well done. The momentum is so important when you're in competition, as we just talked about. So keep it up, get out there, and just have fun.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so TLO gets some words, high fives, and handshakes as Matt, the Beast from the Bay, advances on. And he will be going against either Chris Forsberg or yesterday's birthday boy, Jonathan Hurst. Matt Field, the Borla Heatwave Lean Customs Corvette. I saw Scarps earlier today. He's got a great camp, his Matt Field's wife, and just everybody. And Matt, we're waiting for him to just bang, pop off. He's right there, just right there in order to pop off. I think the championship season will escape him this season, but just definitely moving the needle in many different ways.
Yeah, it's, another driver that's kind of always been a bridesmaid, never been a bride. But Matt Field's been so close on so many occasions, so much heartbreak in his program, but always positive about it, working on the mental attitude, the physical attitude. First guy in the gym in the hotel pretty much every morning, last guy to leave every time. So Matt Field's he's putting in the work, that's for sure, and one day it's going to pay off.
And definitely one that's always like, dude, let's crack a beer, we're done.
Yeah.
Let's party, or crack some Neft vodka, right? So here we go. We are looking at Stuki in that Kenda Tires S15 going back against Frederick Osbo. Freddie shutting it down. Seti misshifted. So there is a big hill to climb for Frederick Osbo. Stuki has the clean air. This is a favorable position for Stuki to take down the 3-time champion and current points leader in that tied position. Stuki into that first outside zone, no big deal. Doesn't exactly get an outside zone 2, but that's going to be enough with that incomplete for Frederick Osbo. Pass one clip, one more last outside zone. He's taking down the former champ of Frederick Osbo.
Yeah.
There it is, just like that. What an unfortunate turn of events for Osbo, but you know who's stoked? And Stuki is. Stuki is Stokey right now as far as taking down a 3-time champion, but I would say he took down himself with that mishift.
It happens. It happens, especially with tracks where we have a lot of dynamic speed changes. Drivers are having to change gears midway through runs, and it's every time you add another variable, it's one more variable that could go wrong for Stuki. Not quite able to make it all the way out to outside zone 2, outside zone 3, getting that wheel dipped in, but looking very comfortable in the lead for Frederick Osbo. You just have to hope that something crazy happens to the other Kenda driver in front of you. But unfortunately for him, that is just not the case here. Stuki able to get through that run. Yeah, that is heartbreaking, and another massive shakeup here.
And there it is. Frederick Osbo knocked out. Daniel Stuki gets the win. So our current points leader, tied with James Deane, is out in 32. That means James will jump up as far as points lead. The event is far from over, but championship implications are apparent. Frederick Osbo, the 151, he might be a little crazy, but might be a little nuts, but he is definitely out. Stuki advances on. The Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra is knocked out. Daniel Stuki in the Kenda Tires S chassis advances on. It'll be Stuki against Ryan Tuerck or Simon Olsen. Pulling up to the line, Chris the Force Forsberg against Jonathan Hurst in the Mr. Cool Cadillac. Happy birthday to Amber and Noah. Her and Mady are out in San Diego, so as they are cheering on the pilot that is Chris the Force Forsberg, 3-time People's Champ, Doylestown, Pennsylvania's own, NOS Energy Drink, Nismo Auto Parts, all new Z. Gonna be cranking some Neft and NOS after this. Hopefully on the box, we'll see, or is it gonna be Jonathan Hurst? Forsberg initiates. Comes out of it a little bit, but then sticks it to the wall. Jonathan Hurst a little bit lower there. Good proximity, some wavering from the Cadillac, pulling that front right tire off into the second outside zone, into the power alley. 20 years Chris has been coming here, has been on the box, would love to do it again. Transition out in the last outside zone. Good transition from both the drivers. Jonathan Hurst dropping into formation, but you can see just some wavering in that chase position. The car not exactly settled in the chase. Again, seemed like he was trying to play catch up, just kind of grasping at the straws, trying to grab it, and eventually cross the finish line.
Yeah, for Hurst, he's really working that car a lot, and Chris Forsberg looks very stable all the way through. Gets up to the zone. I mean, Hurst just trying to figure out where he needs to be, not able to get comfortable at any point in the chase. Chris having to really push that car out, kind of decels partway through that zone, but I mean, Hurst really wasn't in a position where that's going to affect them all that massively. I'm sure it does to some, but yeah, just a tough go for Jonathan Hurst, who just at no point really felt comfortable as we take a look at a very dejected Frederick Osbo. This is going to be a tough way to spend the rest of this weekend for him, having to look back and understand how one small hand movement in a misshift took out, could potentially have massive championship implications for him.
Absolutely. This is just shaking things up here. But right now, the task at hand, Jonathan Hurst will lead. Chris Forsberg giving chase. We do have the second half of this battle right here, right now, and one more battle after this, Tuerck and Olsen, and that'll complete the 32. Right now, it is Hurst out front, the Mr. Cool Cadillac. Look at way more settled out front, Jonathan Hurst. That allows Chris Forsberg to drop in. And Jonathan Hurst, you can see that little left foot brake coming into the power alley, escaping that second outside zone. Forsberg dives out of the smoke, comes up shallow as Hurst was deep in that third outside zone proximity. Now transitioning that last outside zone goes Hurst. And you can hear that thing firing off, the loudest car of the FD grid. Jonathan Hurst, there's Freddie looking on again, another 3-time champion on track, off track. And there they are. So Freddie Forsberg and James Deane, 3-time champions, and 4-time bettering it is James Deane.
Yeah, Jonathan Hurst, I mean, trying to get a lot more settled after a shaky chase run. Wasn't able to get all the way up to the wall. And Forsberg really putting a lot of pressure on him here. Got a little bit of wavering on his side of things as well, trying to figure out the pacing of Jonathan Hurst, who isn't able to get all the way out to the second outside zone, but does a great job through 3. Forsberg taking a tighter line through. I mean, this is pretty safe from Forsberg, who then in the chase isn't able to get all the way to 4. This is a kind of a bit more interesting than I first realized now that we get into a couple of these zones. I mean, Forsberg's chase just not completely dialed in. Man, maybe a bit safe in a few spots. It's, yeah, side-by-side replay, and it's a good indicator that this is not an easy decision for these judges. So for me, the lead in this case, Forsberg's definitely got it. Now Hurst struggles with that first outside zone, but so does Forsberg in a couple of spots. And as we come out, both drivers not doing a great job through the second outside zone. Third outside zone, pretty similar in the chase for both of them. Inside clip, kind of standard procedure. And then our last outside zone, both drivers in the chase missing it. So
I'm gonna repeat, good, fast, and cheap. So proximity, speed, or angle, you know, and I think both of them had moments of greatness and moments of weakness. But I would say that, you know, again, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's tough. Do you give up some line to gain that proximity?
One more time, a Chris Forsberg vote, and a Chris Forsberg gets the win. Forsberg gets the win, 2-1, and that was Reese Marin saying one more time, but Brian Egger and Robin Ishida, that's where I was kind of leaning, because with Hurst out front, the car was more settled, and yes, Chris wasn't in the pocket ideally, but I think he just had that little more placement.
Yeah.
And he had better proximity.
Yeah. No,
the placement, both of them were both short in certain areas. I think Chris just outshined him a little bit. I would say a little bit more on the lead run as well as on the chase, but Hurst was right there. That could have gone either way, hence the one more time. It was not unanimous. So I agree with that. I would say that it was a fraction of an advantage of Chris over Jonathan.
And a tight decision supports that too. You know, one going one more time, two going over to Chris.
Exactly. All right, the final battle of our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 has this Rockstar pilot of Ryan Tuerck going against Simon Olsen. A one more time battle. This Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla, the hot hatchback. This thing has no room for error. That back bumper is a sliver, so he's going to try to stick it to the wall and keep on keeping on. Here goes Ryan Tuerck, already taking him to Gapplebee's here on that first initiation. Simon Olsen inching his way closer and closer, kind of like a mirror, like a cat just lurking in the shadows. Simon shuts it down, very shallow from 2 to 3, past an inside clip. Ryan Tuerck, massive advantage here over the Norwegian driver. So the car coming up short on the second to the third outside zone. What went wrong?
It seemed like the exact same error that Simon made in the chase on the previous run, unfortunately. So for Ryan Tuerck out front, looks really good. Gets that car up there, slowly brings it up to the top of the bank instead of doing anything drastic. And for Simon Olsen, look how aggressive he is in the chase, mirroring so well. But really, for me, Ryan Tuerck able to just drive off the bank. And that was the biggest thing. He pushes that car off the bank, whereas Simon comes off throttle a little bit and ends up floating, and that's what caught him out, gets caught in the smoke. And then at that point, when you go to transition, Ryan Tuerck in a completely different time zone, and Simon Olsen's got to wait for him to come back around to get back into this battle. That's all it was, a little bit too much off that go, and for Simon Olsen now, he's behind the 8 ball. He's really got to make things up when he gets out into the lead. So it's, yeah, it is absolutely tough going right now for Simon Olsen, who's just got to lay down a complete heater of a lead run. And for Ryan Tuerck, his spotter's going to be telling him where that mistake was. Tuerck can't be too far back. These two drivers now initiate out to that wall.
All right, here we go. So thank you so much, Simon Olsen, Ryan Tuerck, and Simon Olsen initiates. Good angle there from Simon. Now Ryan Tuerck dropping a formation, and Ryan puts the car in the right place. Again, he needs to do just enough because Simon didn't have that large mistake, and it looks like one more outside zone, and it's going to be Ryan Tuerck's victory unofficially. But all signs are saying it is Ryan Tuerck that will advance over Simon. That major mistake from 2 to 3, very unfortunate. We were bigging him up. Car setup, it's all there. But like Ryan said, not just one section, all of the sections.
Yeah, you've got to be able to hang all the way through, and you can see the way that Simon's driving this car. He's doing such a great job in the lead, and that's what makes that mistake all that more painful. And coming off of that zone into the second outside zone, just two very different setups, two different driving styles, and unfortunately, Ryan Tuerck was able to adapt to what Simon was able to do. Simon not able to adapt to what Ryan was doing, and that's really what it ends up coming down to in this battle. But for Simon, the progression that we saw in seeding, and what we see here even in this, and the way he's driving, the confidence is building, the team is coming together, the car setup is there. It's going to be a couple of little things between the years for him to be able to come through and really make his mark again in this chassis as we saw in the previous one. And for Ryan Tuerck, business as usual here in Seattle.
He knows his track. He loves his track. Obviously very apparent last year, getting the win overall, getting emotional on the podium. You know, he's expecting his second kid, a great husband, father, and now a winner in the top 32. The Rockstar energy drink driver. The Rockstar advances on over Simon Olsen. Again, Chris setting up that vehicle, just not enough here in that 32. So we'll see Simon Olsen in Utah. But speaking of Rockstar energy drink, as unfortunately the other Rockstar driver, Frederick Osbo, not advancing on Cerise with the communique.
All right, Freddie, that was not the result you were looking for, but it is the one you got. Now, when we talked earlier, you were saying that Stuki needed to do what he needed to do. Put me in your head during that last battle.
It's pretty simple. There's no point in pushing very hard and risking making another mistake for me. It's just trying to chase him closely and see if he is able to keep it cool, which he was. Great guy, great driver, kept it cool, which is what he needed to do, and move on. And, you know, I'm over here taking our first big loss of the year. 32 loss, 0 points from Seattle is obviously tough. But, you know, there are small margins in the sport, and we have this saying in Norway where if you have a good rehearsal, that might lead to a poor performance. And I felt like we were doing really well, we were doing the right things, I was learning the track better. We fixed a lot of the things that we sucked at over the last couple years. But maybe that made me maybe that put me a little bit on the recline, and, you know, I took it a little easy. I wasn't determined enough with that shift, and it didn't go into that second gear. So all she wrote here in Seattle for us, we'll take it on the chin, and it's not over yet.
I love that energy. What are you going to do the rest of the day?
I'm going to get out of the suit for a little bit. I'm going to watch the competition. I'm going to be cheering Ryan on. I believe he moved on here. Hang out with all the fans here, maybe play some music and have a good time. After all, I love drifting, but it sure sucks. I wish I was out there with everyone.
Well, if you guys see Freddie out there just enjoying the rest of his day, be sure to give him some love. That was still a phenomenal show. We're really proud of you, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Cerise. Thank you to Frederick. Unfortunately, he is knocked out, but he'll be in the pit. So if you're here in the building, it's going to get nuts. It's going to get bananas, and hopefully you don't have a peanut allergy, because, yes, it will get nuts here later on. It's going to get loud. It's going to get crazy, and this is Formula Drift. Let's take a look at the bracket, who is advancing on into the top 16 as, again, the teams, the drivers, open paddock with the price of admission, complimentary access to the drivers, obviously, respectfully. Look at that field, Forsberg, the last battle. Woo! Neth vodka all around, kids. James Deane and Sorensen. So absolutely some bangers. Noback versus Masuyama. Welcome back. Some amazing battles. Jacob, anything else you want to add before we take a break?
No, just super pumped for top 16. It's going to be crazy. We can already start taking a look at how this championship's going to wrap up. And yeah, man, I want the break to be over so we can be back in here and see how this all plays out.
Well, you got a little more than 2 hours, man. Yeah. So we're back here at 4:45 for our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. You can see the evidence strewn about the track. This is 20 years we've been coming here to this beautiful track. Some great fans, some great driving, and it all continues. Again, local time at 4:45 for reference. It's currently 2:20 on that PM dial. I'm Jared Deane. Thank you on behalf of Jacob Gettin, Cerise Taylor. We'll see you back here in just about 2 hours and 45 minutes for our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. Top 16, we won't stop till we find out who wins the carbon fiber trophy and is on the box here at Formula Drift. Round 6 of 8, the Formula Drift Championship.
I'm gonna get back when I feel like